What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. DK Show up on the air on your radio dials. 105.1 FM, 790 AM, also available app and take it on the go. Got your smart devices like your smart speakers, Google and Alexa. Video stream is also up and rolling on Facebook, YouTube. And it'll be up on Instagram here and just go. I always forget about Instagram to add it up over there. So it'll be up on Instagram coming up in just a little bit here. But appreciate you making us a part of your start on this July 17th. What do we got on a good old game plan for us here this morning? Well, last night we had the Major League Baseball All-Star game, the American League, picking up a 5-3 win last night. American League has now won 10 of the past 11 games, 10 of the past 11 All-Star games. Man, oh man. But I got to see a little bit from Christian Yelich, got to see a little bit from Contreras. Contreras catching Paul Skeens there at the beginning there too. So, but looking at Contreras, he went 0 for 2. Yelich went 0 for 2 last night as well at the plate. But that's all in fun, right? So now we get a couple more days off until the Brewers will be back in action as they get set to take on the Minnesota Twins this weekend. So we'll go through some of the latest rumors and rumblings that are kind of out there with the trade deadline. I mean, now that's the next thing on the docket. We're all kind of really paying attention to here. 13 days away, coming up on July 30th. So we'll kind of take a look at some of the latest rumors surrounding, the Brewers and such. But Brewers busy with the draft the last couple of days here. So, but yesterday, um, they they kind of went through some of their later rounds, but they drafted a kid out of Wisconsin, Noah Weck, coming out of Wisconsin there. So pitcher looks like. So we'll go through some of the picks here for the for the Brewers and such. But I know we probably don't know a whole lot about them, uh, obviously because of the later rounds, and a lot of them are high schoolers too, right? So, but we'll take a look at Noah Weck, Noah Wetch, but he's coming out of the Northwoods League, Fond du Lac Dock Spiders over there too. So. What else do we got on the docket for us this morning? We're gonna continue our training camp storyline countdown leading up to the Packers beginning training camp on Monday. However, rookies have to report today. Rookies have to report today. So we're inching a little bit closer, getting there. We're getting close to a little football season coming up here. So I know some teams had rookies report yesterday. Some teams also today getting their veterans over there. So, but 50 days from now, 50. This seems like it's right around the corner. Put it in this perspective. 50 days from today is when the Ravens and Chiefs open up the season. 50. I don't know why, but that seems like not that far away. Doesn't seem like it's that far away. So, we're going to talk a little football here and take a look at another storyline coming up here. Also on the docket, the Bucks. A couple of Bucks notes. First off, AJ Johnson, rookie, 23rd overall pick. He had himself a night last night at Summer League, putting up 22 points, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of blocks as well. So I know it's just Summer League, but hey, got to give the kid credit there. But also the Bucks making, I like this signing. They were apparently, according to Adrian Wojnarowski yesterday, Gary Trent Jr. has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. He played with Damian Lillard when they were with the Blazers together. Spent last year with the Toronto Raptors. He was actually a guy last offseason that I was kind of hoping that that the Bucks could try to pry away. Was it last year? A couple years ago? Yeah, he spent the last couple years with the Raptors and such. But he was a guy that I was really hoping for last year that that the Bucks could be able to maybe get. So I like this signing. I know he just averaged 13.7 points per game last year. He's a little over 14 for his career, but I think this is going to be a nice backcourt addition for the Bucks. You know, you look at his 2022-23 season, he averaged 17.4 points per game. The year before that, 18.3, 16.2, 15 in his final year with the Blazers in 2020-21. So, again, I like this move. I think it's an upgrade over Malik Beasley. I really do. And the guy is only 25 years old. So he's not like an aging veteran or anything like that. So a little surprised that that the Bucks, because it seemed like the Lakers were really trying to get after him. He turned down some other contracts. It sounds like I haven't seen the exact numbers in terms of money yet, but man, I was pumped when I saw this announced yesterday or reported yesterday by Wojo. So I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And now when you kind of look at this Bucks roster, I don't know how much more moves they can make besides maybe some trades here. Are they still thinking about trading or maybe looking to move on from Brook Lopez? Gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at their depth chart right here: Brook, Giannis, Middleton, Gary Trent Jr., Damian Lillard. You got Pat coming off the bench, Bobby Portis coming off the bench, AJ Green. We'll see if Andre Jackson Jr. and those guys can kind of be take another step and be contributors this year. So, but we'll throw a little Bucks chat into this equation here this morning too. So we'll do a little business and sports coming up a couple of hours from now. Also, we'll announce another matchup in our bracket challenge. All right. So yesterday we did a couple. Now, for whatever reason, Facebook's like changing things. So we're gonna move the poll because it doesn't allow me to put up a poll on the Facebook page. So if you want to vote, you want to continue to vote on this thing, you got to go to our Facebook group page. It's called For the Love of the Game. So go over there and join that, and then you can participate in our polls, which I really hope you do, because the winner is decided by you. Okay. So, but yesterday we put up a couple more over there. We had Lynn Dickey versus Tim Harris, and Lynn Dickey's going to be moving on. And we had Ben Sheets versus Dan Plesac, and it looks like Ben Sheets is going to be moving on. So, got a got a Packer, and we got a Brewer guy moving on to the Sweet 16. Sweet 16. Tim Harris was a very popular nomination, so I don't know. Maybe a little surprised because it looked like Lynn Dickey had a very comfortable victory over Tim Harris. So, but hey, we'll see how far they can advance. So we're going to do a couple more. We're going to go back to the Badger region, and we'll go back to the Bucks/Open region for our next picks there. So, but we'll also put it up on Twitter/X if you'd rather vote over there too. So, but let's get things rolling here this morning. Let's just kind of do a little bit of a smorgasbord. All right. Let's just talk about everything here in the opening segment, in the opening or in the leadoff here. Hit me up with some text, all right? 715-830-1912. Want you to drive the conversation here this morning. We'll throw in a little Packers chat. Come up with another storyline. We'll throw some Brewers chat in here, latest rumors, rumblings. If there is any surrounding the Brewers, we've got a draft class to talk about with the Brewers. All 20 rounds completed yesterday. So we'll throw that in, and plus we got a little Bucks chat too. So let's get her going, shall we? Pitter patter, let's get at her. We'll take that first break. If the button wants me to, maybe not. This computer, I swear, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. So, all right, let's get her going here this morning. First break, then we got the leadoff. I want to hear from you this morning. All right, hit me up with some text 715-830-1912. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. have you been to the VFW Post 305 lately? Well, let me tell you, they've got some new and exciting things happening there lately. First, new kitchen hours every day, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., except Fridays, which are 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., and then back open 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Plus, Saturday and Sunday, breakfast is served until noon. They got daily specials and a new menu coming Wednesday nights and Saturdays. They have live music. Plus, their patio has those new outdoor tables and chairs to go along with the beautiful view over there. So get on down to the VFW Post 305, located at 1300 Star Avenue in Eau Claire. Gotta give a shout out. I don't know how if anybody listening right now has had a chance to go over there or check it out or what, but took the mobile man cave. Big thanks to Carpet City Flooring Center, Toyson Ford, Woods and Water Realty, the Elbow Room, for always joining us in the mobile man cave. Checked out the Sonantag Center yesterday, behind the scenes looks and all that. Holy moly, is that an impressive place? The the arena, the field house, turf in there. I mean, oh, the facility. It's amazing. If you're gonna be able to go to a game once it opens up and such, it's impressive, very impressive. So, big thanks to the Blue Golds for uh, inviting me over and taking a little tour of some behind the scenes stuff over there too. It was super 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 impressive. So, anybody that's gonna be able to check it out when it opens up for some games, it's a game changer. Let me tell you, it's a huge game changer over there. So, all right, so we got a couple of you chiming in here on the texting line, and actually, one of these questions relates to one of my storylines that I had for the pack for our training camp series, and somebody had texted in with the don't have a name, so I can't give you credit here. But somebody had texted in and said, "Which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact this year?" And well, it's funny that you bring that one up because this was actually one of my storylines, and I was going to save it for today with the rookies coming into play. And I think one of the storylines for the Packers heading into training camp is the impact of these rookies. Who is going to be the biggest impact on this ball club? And I think that's a good question. And I think it's a good question. Morgan being the first round pick, is he going to be able to win a starting job? Is he going to get a shot? Is he going to get a chance? Is that left tackle position really open? Is it really a competition going up against Rasheed Walker? We'll find out once camp opens and once practice goes. We'll see if Morgan gets some reps with the ones and such. I think the big determinant in all this too is going to be when Zach Tom's able to come back and practice, because with him out there, that's a starter missing. So Morgan's going to get some reps. I would assume maybe at some other positions such, but Will Morgan, eventually he's going to be a starter, right? He's a first round pick, 25th overall. He will be a starter. The question is, will it be this year in his rookie year? And how serious of a battle is it between him and Walker for left tackle? And again, I know a lot of the draft people out there, draft experts leading up to the draft, thought he would be better suited maybe moving inside as a guard. Could he play a little right tackle? But Zach Tom's over there. It seems like Zach Tom wants to stay at right tackle. So I don't know. Like, going back to the question, will Morgan have the biggest impact? Probably not. I think there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding it. I think, now if it's a similar situation to Brian Balaga, then maybe it's just I I'm not that confident that Morgan's going to open up as a starter this year. I think you factor in Sean Ryan, Surveyor Sam's guy. Sean Ryan he going to get an opportunity to win that job at right guard. Saw him getting some snaps last year with the unit, subbing in and out a little bit with John Runyon Jr. over there. So is Sean Ryan going to be able to take that step again this year and maybe win that job? I mean, there's a ton of uncertainty surrounding here with where Morgan's going to play. I don't really know where Morgan's going to play in his rookie year yet. And that's why I think going back to one of the other storylines that we had, the offensive line to me is probably the biggest position battle group to watch throughout training camp. I look at, though, the next 3 picks. If I had to go out there and say or make a prediction of the rookies who are going to have the biggest impacts, I'm looking at probably the next 3 picks here as guys who I think could not only be starters, but get a ton of playing time on the offensive and defensive side over there. So, Bullard and Marshawn Lloyd, probably the first 2. Probably the 2 second-round picks. Lloyd, again, it goes back to our conversation with Josh Jacobs. How much of an opportunity is Lloyd gonna get? Are they gonna kind of use, Jacobs as a bell cow type of back? So, will that cut reps for Lloyd in his rookie season or such? But I think we're gonna see him out on the field. We're gonna see him get some opportunities this year. It's just, will he how much opportunity will he get? 'Cause I think we're gonna see a ton of Jacobs this year. So, I'm looking at these 2 defensive guys between Edgerrin Cooper and Javon Bullard, and I might go Cooper if I had to pick one to answer the question of the rookie who's gonna have the biggest impact right away. And to me, and when I look at this rookie class, I think there's opportunities for a lot of these guys to be contributors, whether it's special teams or maybe it's on some defensive play because and that's why it's a storyline for me, the impact of these rookies on this ball club. Javon's probably gonna be, the starting safety next to Xavier McKinney. Cooper, probably gonna be the other linebacker with Quay Walker, then you throw Isaiah McDuffie in there. Marshawn Lloyd's probably gonna be the backup running back, gonna be the change of pace running back. And then I look at the next guys here. Hopper, the linebacker from Missouri, and the next safety, Evan Williams from Oregon. Those are guys that I think maybe could have an immediate impact on special teams right away, and it just felt like going back to when those guys were selected, that are those picks with the new special teams rules in mind? Are those picks were they made with the new rules in mind? Now Hopper is like a speedy linebacker. The only thing is that he needs to improve on his field vision, instincts, and such, like diagnosing plays and that, but he's got some insane athletic traits, and that's where, he's probably gonna get an opportunity right away on special teams to be an impact player, but then you add in Evan Williams. I mean, Packers really loaded up on the depth of their safety position. There's one that I'm gonna be bringing up here in just a little bit here too, who I think could be a sneaky player. But you add in Evan Williams too. Again, it just seemed like he was a pick to kind of help bolster special teams, and it's not to say he won't, get on the field or anything like that when it comes to the defensive play there. But, he's an aggressive safety. You look at it and he's like, "Oh, he's 5'11" and such. He's maybe not the biggest guy, but I remember going through his draft stuff when he was picked, and there was people like, he kinda plays with a mindset of a linebacker a little bit, good at stopping the run. And then you got, Oladapo from Oregon State. who is your more typical strong safety type of role out there. I think Jacob Monk, the offensive lineman, the versatile offensive lineman from Duke, he's gonna get opportunities. He may be the future starting center for this team. And then I think early runnings here for our Lindsey Pipkins Memorial Honorable, whatever what do we call it? Lindsey Pipkins player to watch when it comes to training camp and preseason's Kalen King. I'm gonna last year I had Carrington Valentine as my pick before training camp started. I might go corner again with Kalen King from Penn State, the last pick that the Packers had in this draft, 255 overall. And maybe I'm reading a little too much into it because there was talk that if he was in the draft the year before, he could have been a first round pick. You had I think it was Jaden Reed that said there's no way he's a seventh round pick. Bill Belichick was singing his praise a little bit too. Just kind of nonchalantly. I think they were talking. It was the first round of the draft coverage, and they were doing some Marvin Harrison Jr. filming, and Kalen King was on there, and Belichick just kind of casually said, "And that's a really good corner over there." So I think Kalen King could maybe be that Carrington Valentine from last year. So I guess what I'm trying to say, the impact of the rookies overall, I think there's going to be guys that are going to get opportunities. I think you're going to see a lot of these guys. I'm intrigued with this draft class overall, and I think a lot of you, if we go back to when we were talking about the draft class after it was all said and done in April, there was a lot of enthusiasm. There was a lot of um, excitement with this class, and I think a lot of you thought, "Hey, this is a really intriguing class." You really like what Goody did, and you really like about the potential of some of these guys. And I think there is that opportunity for a lot of these guys to get some play time, whether it's on special teams, whether it's on the defensive side or offensive side right away. But there's chances for these guys, I think, to have an impact on this team. And will they take that opportunity? Will Edrin Cooper be a force on the defensive side? We've heard nothing but positive stuff. We've heard great stuff from Quay Walker. We've heard about, how fast he is and how athletic he is. You got Bullard next to Xavier McKinney and such. I mean, there's excitement surrounding some of these rookies. The main question is just going to be heading into training camp and throughout training camp and preseason is how quick can they get acclimated to the NFL game? How quickly can they adjust to the game plans, playbook, and can they take advantage of their opportunities? I'm excited to watch these guys in training camp. This is the reason why, or this is one of the reasons why I enjoy preseason football too. I know I'm in the minority on this, is to see guys like Edrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, Marshawn Lloyd, Oladapo, Kalen King, those guys get on the field because we get excited. We're intrigued after they get drafted. Like, oh yeah, these are going to be a good pick, great pick in the 6th round, 7th round. Now we get to see if our thoughts kind of all right. It's our first glimpse of them in a Packers uniform to see if they play out. That's why I like preseason football, to see these young guys to get for them to get a chance, for them to get an opportunity. That's why I enjoy it, seeing these guys trying to accomplish a dream that a lot of us would have probably as kids loved to have done. And these are guys that are close to accomplishing their dreams. I mean, how do you not get emotional about sports, right? And we haven't even talked about, maybe some of the undrafted guys that are coming in here. And I know they don't get a lot of fanfare. They don't get a lot of fanfare when it comes to, the rookies and such. And maybe for a lot of us, we don't know a whole lot about them. We don't know who they are. But, when you're looking at those undrafted guys too. And remember, Green Bay didn't have a ton of roster spots open. So it wasn't like the Chargers had 20 some undrafted, in the Packers, over the years have brought in a good sized group of undrafted players because it always felt like, okay, maybe one or two was going to get in there. They just didn't have a lot of roster spots open. I mean, you do got a Badger over there. You want a long snapper. Remember, Packers picked up the Badger long snapper, Peter Bowden. Other guys maybe to kind of pay attention to. Raylan Goforth, linebacker out of Washington. He's a little bit of a smaller one. Howard, the running back from Elkhorn States. Jarvian Howard. Messiah Swinson, tight end from Arizona State. That dude is huge. 6'8", 6'8", 260 pounds. We've got Trent Jones, the tackle from Michigan. Donovan Jennings, tackle from South Florida. James Esther, defensive tackle from Northern Illinois. And then Rodney Matthews, defensive tackle from Ohio, too. So, yeah, again, not a big group, but Green Bay historically gives chances to these guys to make an impression. So, one of the other storylines heading into training camp, how, is watching this rookie class, getting a glimpse of some of these guys, because we know some of those dudes are going to get a chance, and some of those guys are going to be asked to be starters or get a ton of playing time right away. Can they be impact rookies? Can they be impact rookies right away? I think for maybe some Packers fans, it, I'm trying to let me bring up the Packers rookie draft classes over the years here too, because I think one of the gripes or complaints from Packers fans over the years when it comes to their draft picks has been how many of them have maybe been contributors right away or big time contributors right away in their rookie seasons. Lucas Van Ness last year, first round pick, maybe not as much. Jane Reed, yes. Got to see those glimpses of Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, right? 2022 when they had the first or they had two first round picks. Quay Walker racked up a lot of stats, but I think there was some people kind of like, okay, but was it, I think the bar was set pretty high for Quay Walker for being a first round linebacker that maybe it didn't reach that level for a lot of people. They wanted a game changing, and maybe they didn't quite see that from Quay Walker. Devontae Wyatt, no. Didn't get it after his rookie year. This is why the third year is big for him. You had Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs that year too. Zach Tom was a part of that 2022 class. Eric Stokes, 2021. Had a solid rookie season. Did it blow anybody out of the water, though, where he was like rookie of the year? No. Jordan Love, we didn't see. A.J. Dillon was the third running back in 2020. 2019, Rashawn Gary was kind of like Lucas Van Ness, Darnell Savage. You had Elton Jenkins in the second round. Then you go back to Jair in 2018, probably the last first round pick. Is it fair to say Jair was the last first round pick to had a really breakout rookie year? What is that fair to say? I mean, 2017 they didn't have one. We don't need to rehash that. Then 2016 was Kenny Clark. Now there's a lot of intrigue and there's a lot of excitement for this rookie class this year, but I think maybe for some Packers fans are like, okay, been down this road before, prove it now. But for this team to hit the goal of winning a Super Bowl, going to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, winning the division, you're gonna need some of these rookies to be big time contributors, no question about it. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Got to throw some Brewers and Bucks chats in here too. Bucks making a signing I really like yesterday. We'll talk about that. All right, we're back. Finishing up this first hour here this morning. Clay from Service Master, man. These are thanks for the coffee, man. I appreciate it. You didn't even know it was my birthday today, buddy. So I appreciate that, man. Murph just stopped by and said, "Dude, there's some coffee out there. That's why I'm out of breath right now." So, oh, all right, Clay. Big thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So, all right, let's talk some Bucks here as we finish up this first hour this morning. Bucks making a signing that I really like. I really like Gary Trent Jr. signing. So this was a dude that, it was last year. Last year that I was kind of hopeful, wishful thinking that could the Bucks get this guy? Could they sign him? Could they sign him? And they didn't get a job done last year. It was just a little too much. It was a little rich for their blood. And I didn't think they would be able to do it this year either. But lo and behold, yesterday, Wojo with a Woj bomb. Making that report that the Bucks signed Gary Trent Jr. to a 1-year deal. Now I haven't seen the numbers yet. I don't think those have been reported or anything like that. But I think this is a nice piece for this roster. And honestly, heading into this offseason for the Bucks, I didn't think that they were going to do much. They couldn't do much in the free agency world. I didn't think that they could do that. Thought maybe mostly they were going to do some trades and such, but I was surprised that they got this deal done. Now, again, we'll see what the money is because there was also talk that the Lakers were really involved in Gary Trent or really wanted Gary Trent Jr. So I was like, oh, okay, the Lakers going to throw some money at him. You know, it's still the whole Laker vibe, LeBron vibe, and that sort of stuff. But man, it was a good signing yesterday. Maybe I'm putting too much into this thing. Maybe I'm a little too excited over Gary Trent Jr., but I like it. And I think this fortifies that backcourt with Dame. Now you got him. Now you got Dame, Gary Trent Jr. They're back together, spent some time together in Portland when Gary Trent Jr. began his career. You throw Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Brooke right now at the 5. I like that lineup. I like that backcourt. I think that's a nice boost. I feel better about that starting lineup than what I did last year. And you still got, Gary Trent Jr. is still 25. And he's probably going to, probably really want to play the 1-year kind of prove it deal or really want to cash in and maybe get a long-term deal done somewhere down the line here. But I'd like that move better than Malik Beasley was last year. And I know Malik Beasley was a 3-point threat and all that good stuff. But, man, I think this is a home run signing. Again, maybe I'm putting too much into it, but I really like it. Now, I don't know what else the Bucks could do. I don't know what else they could do in terms of free agency and such. I think the biggest question now is going to be, is Brook Lopez going to be a member of that squad? Is he going to be a member of that squad? Are they going to try to trade him? Are they going to, go with him to open up the season, see how it goes? That to me is the next biggest question. Are those reports true that were right before the draft, right before the NBA draft? Are those reports true that the Bucks were looking to trade Brook Lopez? Maybe get a little bit of a guy that could extend it from the defensive side. We know Brook can shoot the 3, but from a defensive side, maybe they want somebody that can come out a little bit more. Kind of that trend in the NBA. We still got some, typical big man and such, but that to me is going to be something to kind of pay attention to as we go forward here. So had to throw that in, but also not a bad day yesterday for the Bucks too. I mean, if you're a diehard Bucks fan, diehard hoops fan, you're maybe paying attention a little bit to the summer league and such. And it was a good day for the Bucks. I know it was just summer league and all that, and you don't want to get too excited. But A.J. Johnson had himself a night last night. 22 points, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple blocks over there. We all have wanted a rookie, a Bucks rookie pick to be a contributor, to be a part of the rotation right away. Will AJ Johnson have that opportunity this year? Again, I don't know. I think it's a little too early to tell. I don't think he's going to be a big time contributor, but hey, maybe a guy like Marjan Beauchamp who's been getting some action in. Is he ready to take that next step too? So, but good signing. Tip of the cap to the Bucks for that signing for Gary Trent Jr. I like it. I love it. I love it. All right. What else do we got here? We're going to finish up the first hour. No more is going to be popping in here in a few minutes. Last night with the All-Star game, the American League picking up a 5-3 win. 5-3 win. 10 times. 10 of the last 11 times. The Bucks, or excuse me, see, I'm on the Bucks mind. The American League has come away with a victory. They have owned this All-Star game as of late. 5-3 victory, even though Ohtani started it off in the top of the third with that home run, that towering shot. American League bounced back, though, tied it up, and they put up a couple more runs in the fifth, and they held on after that. Yelly and Contreras going 0 for at the plate a couple times over there. But the All-Star game, the Major League Baseball All-Star game is still my favorite All-Star game of the big four. Hockey, basketball, and by far the NFL and such. If we count the Pro Bowl, I know it's the Pro Bowl games and such and flag football and that, but by far, Major League Baseball's All-Star game is still the cream of the crop in this because he's still got guys going out there. It's the closest thing that is like a real game. And I say that because we know in the NBA All-Star game, they don't play defense. I mean, it's like the first 1 to 300 for crying out loud. We know the Pro Bowl, how that's changed over the years. NHL, I'd probably put at number 2. But baseball, for the most part, you got guys, the guys who are selected to play. Most part, they all show up. They all play. It's still an honor. It's an honor to be named the starting pitcher of the National League and the American League. It still has that prestige attached to it. You still have guys that want to make the All-Star team. They care about making the All-Star team more. It's not all about, hey, I get an extra bonus now. There's still a little prestige to it. And I know there's some that are saying, yeah, it's kind of dull, kind of boring. I appreciate it because it's still traditional. It's still a competitive game for the most part. I mean, it's like a normal game. You don't really have anybody that's like, the pitchers aren't up there throwing slow pitch softball picks and making it into a home run derby like the NBA All-Star game is, where they don't play defense and it's just a slam dunk competition within it. So I still enjoy watching the All-Star game because it feels like that there's still some bragging rights on the line. American League versus the National League. Got to show who's boss. There's still some honor involved in the game. There's still some prestige involved in the game. I like it. I still like it. And I don't think, they really have to change it. And, the biggest thing is, as long as these guys, these all-stars who are picked, who are selected, if they're healthy and they can participate, as long as they continue to do that, I think they're going to be in decent shape. They're going to be in good shape. So I still enjoy it. The uniforms, though, not quite sure what that whole ordeal was. That was ugly. When I turned it on, I'm like, what in the world is the American League wearing? What are we doing here? Not all about that. C-Bomb, I love the All-Star game, but for the love of all things holy, go back to the normal uniforms. Dang, that was hard to look at. Have them wear their team's home and away unis, or make it their team's design, but make them all the same color. But that monstrosity last night was not it. I agree with you, dude. I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. I think Brandon was the one on Friday that talked about going back to like their team's own uniforms. I agree. So, all right. We'll keep your thoughts coming, all right? Hit me up with some text, 715-830-1065. 1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. We'll get back to some more of your comments coming up in a little bit. We've got that first matchup up on the Facebook group page and on Twitter for our most underrated Wisconsin sports athlete of all time. John Stocco versus Luke Swan. Stocco right now off to the early lead, which I kind of figured would be the case. But we'll see how it all kind of plays out after that. So get your votes in, all right? Get them on in. Hit us up. Or, go to Facebook, go to the group page. Remember, it's got to be the group page because for whatever reason, Facebook switched it. So now I can't do polls on the page. So we got to do it in our group page. So Twitter's still good. You can vote on over there if you'd like. So we'll see who moves on to the Sweet 16. Chuck Cecil, Lynn Dickey have moved on to the Sweet 16. Giovanni Gallardo, Ben Sheets, a couple pitchers for the Brewers have moved on to the Sweet 16. Altoon has moved on to the Sweet 16. By the way, whoever wins this matchup will take on Altoon for the right to go to the Elite Eight. And then later on, we're going to do another Bucks/Open region selection over there too. So make sure you're following along, and then you can vote on that. All right, so you can vote on that. So, all right, what do we got? What up, Morgs? How you doing?
How's things today?
I'm doing well.
So you're an all-star fan of the Big East. Baseball's your favorite.
Yes.
You still think that's the most legit all-star lineup, getting everybody together, best of the best, cream of the crop?
It's the most traditional. It's everybody still wants to play it. It's still competitive.
Still an honor.
Yes.
People show up, that kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, so let's go to the ballpark today. Did you know it's National Hot Dog Day?
Ooh, I did not.
Hot diggity dog. We'll go a good quick some trivia here for you.
Dog.
So first
Is it a sandwich? No.
Okay.
It's not.
But it's got bread and meat in the middle.
It's one continuous bread, though.
Okay, if you're lucky, because for some reason, every time I try to break a bun, then they just crack in half. It's not the same.
No.
Build your perfect hot dog before we start unpacking some of the beef trivia here.
We got a hot dog. It's got to be natural casing.
Okay.
Got to be natural
casing.
I agree. We got to put some brown mustard on that thing. A little bit of ketchup. Some relish on there, too.
Okay.
Some relish on there. I save the kraut for brats.
Okay.
I save the kraut for brats.
So do I.
So I'm not an onions guy. Can't do onions.
Well, we're going to do a little bit of hot dog trivia today, just in honor of National Hot Dog Day. And because we got all baseball in the fields with the All-Star game and everything. Have you ever been a vendor? Like, have you ever walked the stairs and done anything like that at a game?
Nope.
Okay. So
I never worked in the food business, even as a kid.
I think everybody should, and it should be mandatory.
I had food allergies as a kid.
I worked food service, and I think you can tell who has worked. Okay.
I pumped gas as a kid, okay? There's some people out there who didn't know how to pump gas.
I'll be fair then, retail or food.
Okay.
You should have to work one of the two.
I worked at a gas station that sold alcohol, guns, and we had to pump gas.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's what I call a good Wednesday. Yep. So how much do you think one of those fully loaded bins weigh? Now you're walking up and down, the vendors, they have their hot dogs. Get your hot dogs. How much of those you strap on? You're carrying an extra what?
65 pounds.
A little less than that, actually, 40.
Oh, so it's like a bar.
But vendors typically walk 4 to 5 miles a game.
Okay.
Up and down those stairs, carrying about 40 extra pounds on them.
What shoes are those peeps wearing, I wonder?
Good ones with lots of padding.
Uh-huh.
Well, you just built your perfect hot dog, but we're going to talk about the city that has the most toppings. If I was building this hot dog, yellow mustard, relish, onion, tomato slices, peppers, and a pickle spear with celery salt. What city are we in? Who built them like that?
Isn't that a Coney Island dog?
No.
It's not? The pickle spear threw me.
Windy City.
Is it windy? Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
That's a Chicago dog. And there's a famous movie. Now, you just put ketchup on your hot dog. I know a lot of people do. But in one famous movie, a character said, nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
I'll give you were going to say nobody puts baby in the corner.
That's Dirty Dancing. We're talking about dirty dogs. Clint Eastwood, I'll give you a hint.
Is that
it's got dirty in there, but it's not Dirty Dancing.
It's got dirty in there, but it's not Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry. I would have thought it was his baseball movie that he was in.
No, Dirty Harry from Sudden Impact.
Oh,
yeah. The 4th film in the Dirty Harry series.
Interesting. All right.
Now, you might know more about this on the screen, seeing as how you're a dad. What popular TV show closes each episode with the hot dog song? Anybody out there with little ones? Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
It's Goofy, Mickey's Clubhouse.
There you go. It is Goofy's Mickey's Clubhouse. And we're going to go into the record books now. Guinness acknowledges that there was a hot dog that was the longest ever to be made. How many feet do you think it was? It actually was made to
And it didn't break?
celebrate Paraguay's 200th anniversary. This was in 2011. Didn't break.
200 feet.
Try again.
5 seconds. 25 feet?
668
That's ridiculous.
feet. It's a lot of ketchup.
That is.
But no onions, right?
All right, second hour kicking off on this Wednesday morning. Big thanks, everybody, for tuning in wherever, however you may be tuning in from. We'll get back to some more baseball talk. All-Star break continuing, and we got the All-Star game in the books yesterday. Big topic of conversation, and it's a good day maybe to have. Is he in there? There he is. Luke's right there.
I'm here.
Uniform psycho that you are, your thoughts on what you saw last night from those digs? Are you with the majority that, let's just say politely, you did not like them?
Bring back the regular team uniforms.
Yes.
What in the?
That was weird. Like when I first turned that on and I saw the American League ones, I'm like, what is that?
What the?
It was these.
What is that?
Yeah. It was not cool, man. Not cool.
The funny thing was, like, when some of the first leaks were coming out and like the jerseys and the caps, like, okay, well, we know they've been doing this for a few years now. Like, okay, maybe this has some potential, I guess. Maybe we'll see. And then when you actually see it in real, like, I only watched it a little bit. I was at Carson Park last night. We had
greatest hits night. Yep.
So and through Spectrum, you can't stream the game remotely like Fox. You have to be by your home Wi-Fi. Thanks. Cool. So couldn't watch the game at all. So I get home, turn it on a little bit to see, and like, oh, okay, shut that off. I wasn't not watching it because of the uniforms. It's also because I have very little interest in the All-Star game because it really is just an exhibition now. And Home Run Derby is the bigger deal. Home Run Derby looked better because they were wearing their regular uniforms. And that's a whole another thing too. I mean, you can make some of them look good. We've seen this with the NBA All-Star game too. There's some that look good, some that don't. We've seen that with the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some that look good, some that don't. Last night did not look good. So how about we just go back to how it used to be? Here's the other problem. Even beyond the Texas design, that was the aim, obviously, for last night. Part of the problem for baseball and the All-Star look is the lack of promotion for individual players. There are a lot of baseball players, and I'm probably one of the I don't know if I'm one of the few people that's still like a bigger baseball fan than a lot of other sports. There are a lot of those baseball players. I'm watching them with the Home Run Derby. I'm like, so that's what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball doesn't do a great job of promoting individuals. Unlike basketball, I know most of the NBA stars. They could walk in and I would know who they are. NFL, even with helmets, I still know not as many, but I still know a lot of them. Hockey, not as much, but hockey's not as big as the other. Baseball, no, not really. So when they're not even wearing the regular uniforms, I don't really know who's who.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
The bigger issue is beyond All-Star game uniforms. Do a better job marketing, and I think there are efforts to do that. They got to do a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, go back to letting them wear the regular uniforms. I know it's a Nike merch thing. It's like, yeah, but there are people ages 18 to 24 that buy the jersey. Whatever. The All-Star game looks terrible. Okay, fix it. You can find some other way to get merch.
Mm-hmm.
Got City Connected. That's going over fairly well. Okay, fine. So you were not a fan either?
No. One of them, it reminded me of like Tequila Sunrise, the American League uniforms.
Just without good Tequila Sunrise.
Right, exactly. So
cool.
Yeah.
You can look like the Astros, your rivals. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking of the drink too.
Oh gosh, that too.
No.
So either way, it's not working.
Right. No, it was not cool. So, and I know that's kind of, some don't really care. I still like the All-Star game though, dude. I still enjoy it.
I like the idea of it. I get that it's not as big of a deal because we get to see all the teams play each other, and the All-Star games were a bigger deal when back in the earlier days, like they get to what? American League will play the National League? That's wild. So next year,
I still like the fact that it's a big deal if you start if you're a pitcher and you're starting that game. Like they still make that a big deal. It's still an honor. There's still some legacy. It's still a normal game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the pitchers are just like, hey, let's have a little BP session up here, like how the NBA All-Star game is. It's like no defense and it's the first 300, wins the game. Where it's not like this, where the pitchers are like, okay, yeah, I don't want to overdo my arm or anything like that. It's a real game, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that guys who are selected most of the time, a lot of the times, go unless they're hurt or something.
There seem to be fewer people not going this year for whatever reason. but I didn't hear as many. Oh, like the eighth.
I know
person.
Correa couldn't go, or Altuve. Were they hurt or something like that?
Yeah, Correa re-aggravated the plantar fasciitis, so that was legitimate. He could not go.
Yeah, Correa plantar fasciitis.
Yep, that's the same. Hearing a lot of that over in Minnesota lately. Nafisa Collier has plantar fasciitis. Correa's plantar fasciitis. Like, all right, enough of the foot deals here. Let's
if you're Correa and you're talking about foot issues, you got to be a little concerned.
Yes, yes. When that came up, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we'll see how this goes long term. But again, at least that was a real injury. This is not. I think I broke my fingernail somewhere. Oh, sorry, can't do the All-Star game. You really just want a vacation,
right?
Yeah, that's not it. So next year's in Atlanta. So what are we gonna get? Like ATL. I'm trying to think what look they're gonna go for. I'm presuming baseball is just gonna be like, yeah, screw everybody on this. We're gonna come up with another wacky, crazy design that everyone's gonna hate.
Yeah,
because again, merch.
Yeah. I mean, would it be okay if they just like had different hats, but they'd wear their uniforms?
I think that might be better. I think, or vice versa, or something where you really can tell. And I know that the big patches on the sleeves, but they were in the same color as the uniforms.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that easy to tell. I don't know. I hope they do something that's a little more in the, no pun intended, ballpark of looking like the actual teams. And yes, you can make good designs. Again, like the NBA's had good designs with their all-star uniforms, and the same with the NHL, and the same with the Pro Bowl. It can be done, but I think this is again another one of those. Let's see, Nike's going to experiment with something. Oh no!
Right. Hey, at least we got the Paul Skeens and Aaron Judge matchup last night. It only lasted a pitch, but we got it.
Fair enough.
We got to see it. So.
Better than not. I mean, that's all you can ask for. At least they have the opportunity to do it. And in that regard, I'm glad Skeens was there. I'm glad Aaron Judge was there. I mean, the ones who we do know, I mean, most people probably would not be able to pick up Paul Skeens immediately without a uniform on, but that's because he's also
well, I think if he shaved the stash off, then nobody would be able to pick him off. That stash really kind of stands out.
For sure. Aaron Judge, I think everyone, he's one of the few, he's made the leap. Everyone knows who Aaron Judge looks like.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. 100%.
But I'm glad we got some of those matchups. That's good. And then we can go into the whole, like, well, should they play longer and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean, you also want to get everyone in so every team's fan base can see their players get in.
And I'm perfectly fine with a pitcher just going one inning. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that's fine. That's A-okay. Some guys only went maybe 2/3 or a third of an inning. I'm good with that. You don't want to overdo it with your pitchers, right? I mean, it was Logan Webb threw 31 pitches last night, so it's like, hey, they're like, hey, let's simmer it down now. So
this would have been totally like the game where like Garrett Crochet comes in and oh no, his inning keeps on going. He's up to like 100 pitches. So that's like the one guy you don't want that to happen. It ended up working out fine. Yeah, all things considered, that was good.
I agree. So
outside of the uniforms, that's the one fix.
I think though the one thing you probably didn't see it before the game, the Euchre interview.
I did not. I saw Euchre was trending last night.
Do you want me to play it?
Go for it. The more Euchre, the better.
So it was Tom Rinaldi. So you know how it went, right? Tom Rinaldi, who is, I think, when you think of like storytellers in sports media, Tom Rinaldi's up at the top towards there, right? I mean, that's up there. We did share it on our Facebook page, so let me go over there. It's a few minutes long, so but it's Euchre, right? More Euchre the better, like you said, right? So this is audio courtesy from MLB on Fox last night. All right, there you go. That's
Worth it.
yeah, right. Still typical Euchre, right?
Yep.
Even at 90 years old, still cracking the jokes and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gosh. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's euchre.
Mhm.
You really can't say no analysis. It's
Hey.
euchre.
Yeah. Don't need anything else. So if you
Mhm.
haven't watched it, go ahead and do yourself a favor. It's about 6 minutes long, and yeah, he had Tom Rinaldi cracking up quite a bit in there. So that
Oh,
was pretty good.
that's great.
I didn't realize that maybe I did and I forgot about it, that he did whatever he wanted in the movie Major League, which makes it even more impressive.
Right. I don't I knew that either. Just a bit outside.
Yeah.
That was totally natural to him, and that has become one of the ultimate lines. I mean, of a movie that has so many quotes.
Yeah.
Is that the number one quote from the movie?
Ooh, that's a good poll question.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw it out to the listeners. That's a very good one because, gosh, I mean, back when we would play slow pitch beer league softball, I mean, we were quoting that movie while we were playing.
Mhm.
Too high? What do you mean too high? Yeah, just a bit outside. One hit. I can't say the rest, but oh gosh, there's so many.
Plays like Mays, runs like Hayes.
Yes. Vaughn spent the offseason in the juvenile delinquent system or something like that.
Was it
you know.
California Penal League?
California, yeah. Oh no, Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason, not
Oh,
on the
yeah.
pitch. So.
I mean, gosh, there's just right.
What is the top major league movie quote? I'll have to text Brandon because that's his favorite movie of all time too. See what he says.
Such a good movie.
Hit us up with a text, a tweet, or a comment on the video stream. What is the best quote from the movie Major League? I like that. Good question, Luke. Good question. All right, let's
Joe Boo say
Joe Boo. Yeah.
Forget-
That you forgot about Joe Boo.
Forget
Joe Boo,
you.
yeah.
Use
I do it myself.
the broadcast TV version that some of us were seeing a lot around that time.
Or
Yeah.
Roger Dorn, strike this blank out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We got to stop. We're
Forget
gonna just,
the curveball. Give him the heater. Yeah.
Should you just recite the whole movie for like a whole
We
show?
probably should.
You just read the script.
Or just, shut up, Dorn.
Gosh.
Oh, a lot of good ones. So, all right. Let us know. Let's have some fun with this, right? So, take a quick break. And, hey, Luke, I got some coffee in here, courtesy of Clay from Service
Yay.
Master. Come grab one, all right?
I will come over.
All right.
You're listening to The Dan Kasper Show.
Hunters, let me ask you a question. In your gun cabinet, do you have a deer rifle that's been passed down throughout your family? Maybe from your dad, grandpa, or great-grandfather? I do. I've got an old 30-30 bolt action that's been passed down throughout the years. And it was my first deer rifle I used when I was 12 years old, and it will be my son's first deer rifle as well. Every deer rifle has a story to tell throughout the years. Stories about that big one you got and missed. So if you're looking for that new deer rifle to begin a new set of stories, let Tilden Gun help you write that new chapter in your deer hunting book. Whether you're looking for a new deer rifle for yourself so you can continue the tradition of passing along that older rifle to your young one, or looking for your first-time hunter's first deer rifle, Tilden Gun can help you. They did for me, and they will continue to help me write these stories in my deer hunting book. The added extra bonus about Tilden Gun, family-owned and operated, and the best deals in the Chippewa Valley. Just visit Tilden Gun today at 12427 90th Avenue in Chippewa Falls and visit tildengun.com. Who doesn't love summer in Wisconsin? Is it your dream to have a place to go to and just sit by the lake on a summer eve with a campfire going? Hey, don't make it a dream anymore. Live it. And you can do that with the help from Woods and Water Realty. Woods and Water Realty is your go-to real estate store to find that new home or your new getaway destination. Just visit woodsandwater.com to find your very own dream destination. Stop imagining that perfect Wisconsin summer eve. Live it. Visit woodsandwater.com today.
Had a devastating knee injury, tore my ACL, tore my PCL, shredded my medial meniscus, and had an initial surgery. That really didn't hold. Had another follow-up surgery around 8 years later. That didn't work, and I didn't want to undergo another surgical procedure.
Enough with the surgeries. They didn't ease the pain, and recovery was brutal. Carmen heard about another treatment for pain relief, the non-invasive regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
I simply figured, heck, I'm going to pick up the phone and call QC Kinetics. And since I've been treated, my quality of life has dramatically gotten better, and I can't thank QC Kinetics enough.
These are the nation's leaders in regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics uses the body's own healing components to help provide relief and functionality.
10 months ago, I had difficulty walking up and down a flight of steps. Now I can do just about anything I desire. I'm back to the old me.
If you have joint pain, before you consider surgery, call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free.
Call QC Kinetics, 715-443-4440. That's 715-443-4440. 715-443-4440.
The Mobile Man Cave is hitting the road. The Dan Kasper Show and the Man Cave podcast are hitting the road to do some shows, podcasts, or going to a tailgate party. Wherever we end up, you will want to make sure to stop by and say hi and check out the Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM Mobile Man Cave. The Mobile Man Cave wouldn't be possible if it weren't for our awesome partners that are with us for every road trip. A big thanks to Toyson Ford, Woods and Water Realty, The Elbow Room, and Carpet City Flooring Center for being with us at every stop. We'll see you on the next road trip.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more from brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at shoedoctorfootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
What's your favorite thing about summer? Mine is the backyard barbecuing, firing up the grills or smokers and showing off my cooking skills. But I've got a bit of a secret. A big reason why my grilling skills are the talk of the neighborhood is because I get my brats and steaks from Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. The freshest and finest cuts you can get in the Chippewa Valley, Mike's Star Market offers a wide selection of meats for you to put on the grill this summer. So up your grilling game with the best teammate in the area. That's Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire.
He doesn't just talk sports, he knows sports. In fact, he and sports are best friends. I saw the two of them last night knocking back a couple of cold ones. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
I'm going to admit, I kind of forgot to. We're going to have to do some picks for the Open today.
Yep.
Keep forgetting that that's this weekend.
Royal Troon.
Yeah. So somebody just posted, it was actually Matt Schneidman who covers the Packers. He's over there, and he posted a picture of Tiger in the background. So I'm like, oh yeah, because that'll be off tomorrow morning when we're on, right?
Yep.
So, all right.
Here we go.
We'll have to make some picks.
Go to
Remind me.
Scotland.
Yeah, remind me at the back end there. So
Yes.
what else? By the way, speaking of the mobile man cave too, checked out the Sound and Take Center. Blue Gold gave me a little tour yesterday.
I saw your photos. I'm envious. That looks awesome.
It is so cool in there, dude. And I will just say this. The locker rooms is exactly like I remember when I was like in high school and all that. I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a locker room like that. Like I want to build a locker room. It's exactly what you would imagine as a kid wanting to play at the college level. Just say that. So it's that cool.
Well done then.
Very cool.
Well done.
The football field is, I mean, I'll say this, and I said this to Nick, who was showing me around. It looks bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. The whole place.
Interesting.
That it was the best way. I mean, you could tell what is what, right? From the outside, it's like, oh, that must be the indoor football field house, and that.
Yeah.
It looks bigger from the inside. It looks a lot bigger.
That's like the opposite of how those things.
I know,
usually
right?
go.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's going to sound weird, but yeah.
'Cause that's where softball's happening inside when they
Mhm.
need to do it inside.
Mhm.
They can go inside the football field and then just play softball.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
They've
Okay.
got for like the basketball court, a bunch of different camera angles on there too. So yeah, it's legit, man.
Wow.
It's very legit.
That's going to be cool to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat side note for those that, in case anyone's not driving by Claremont or Fairfax to see, the turf is coming down on the Memorial Field. I don't know what the north status is, but that I think is going in tandem. So there is new turf run. Because my understanding is Memorial and North will play some of their main football games.
Yep.
On those new fields.
Yep.
But yeah, I just noticed yesterday I was driving by like, hey, we got some green, we got some purple coming down there. So yep, it's definitely new facility season around here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
It'll look a lot nicer this autumn.
We got a couple of picks for the best quote, just a bit outside. That was from Becky. Ryan is saying you may run like Maze, but you hit like let's just say poop. We got is that another one from nope, that's the same one there. We've got John that said gonna need a visa to catch this one. Adam saying to no, that's not Dorn that says that. That's he says Dorn to Haywood, how's your wife and my kids? I think that's Haywood to actually Jake Taylor. Isn't it? I don't know. I have to double check that one.
Yeah.
I have to double check that one.
One of those.
Yeah.
They're good quotes. All of them are good quotes.
Yep, definitely. So
That's for
keep
sure.
them coming. Keep them coming. So all right. Yeah. Okay, we got more. I'm going to save this because now I'm getting flooded with Facebook messages over there too. So I'll save those coming up here in just a little bit. So okay, so we got training camp that's starting to open up. When do you know when your Vikings open up? Is it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I see the Texans are starting today. So
yeah, they got rookies and veterans reports for them. So Packers, it's rookies, but also quarterbacks and select veterans are also reporting today too.
Yeah, the Vikings rookies start on Sunday. A couple days later are the veterans.
Yep,
Tuesday.
This is what it sounds like. It's closer than what I'm thinking. 50 days today. 50 days from today is when the opener is.
Wow,
that seems like that's not that far away.
It doesn't.
When you put it in that perspective. 50 days. It's Ravens and Chiefs to kick off the season.
And it's still, I mean, it kind of is and it isn't, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like that long, and it's also kind of long. So it'll pick up, especially once all the hype starts to kick in and all of that. Blah, 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 blah.
But obviously too, yesterday you had the Brandon Ayuk trade request. I mean, all right.
I loved Andrew Brandt's response doing the quotes. Like, Brandon Ayuk, I want to be traded. 49ers. That's cute. See you at camp.
Yeah, because the last couple of years they've gone through this. They did it with Bosa. They did it with Deebo Samuel.
Right.
Let's just let's call it even. Just swap Brandon Ayuk for Devontae Adams and make both teams happy. So
that would be good. Jeez.
I do love the fact that Devontae Adams' agents yesterday had to come up with a statement saying enough. Essentially, he's not getting traded. There has been no discussions of that. You don't hear agents come out with statements like that too often. But of course, Aaron Rodgers has to go out there and make, statements here and there. And then, the noted insider that he is, Boomer Esiason, saying where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm hearing it's going to happen in August. To which somebody, I think his co-host said, why August? Why not now? It's like, how do you know it's in August? Like, why wouldn't it get done now? You know what I mean? It's like a legit question.
Right.
And it's just like, stop it.
It's
general manager Aaron Rodgers just wanting his buddies again. So
see, now I'm starting to go the other way. Now I'm almost wondering, do I want the Jets to legit go like 12-5 or something and actually do really well? I mean, like, okay, that actually justifies all the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one or the other, either complete train wreck, but then everyone pays attention to the train wreck, and I hate that, or it actually be good.
Yeah.
How about that? That'd be kind of fun, I guess, in a way.
When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn?
We're not.
Okay, I get it. The Rams did it a couple years ago. Rams may be the closest one to trying to build a all-star superstar team, and they got it done.
It worked.
It worked for them.
And I know everyone does the asterisk of, see what happened after that. They won the freaking Super Bowl. Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Jets are in the same boat as the Rams. Let's be real. But I mean, that's not the norm, right? I mean, how many other times Dallas somewhere almost every single year, it seems like.
Right.
The noted whatever Vince Young said in 2010, 2011, Dream Team, I think he said.
Dream Team.
And this is a backup quarterback saying that. So, I mean, and when are we going to learn? Last year, your GM wanted Alan Lazard, and you gave him a big contract. That didn't work out. You brought in Randall Cobb. That didn't work. And I get it. Aaron was hurt and all that. But, I mean, come on now.
Generally speaking, in sports, it doesn't work out. Look in the NBA, all the super teams. Most of those super teams, not all, some have. Most, though, did not work. Like we were just saying.
Lakers. LeBron and AD, right?
Multiple times.
I mean, for crying out loud, that's like the one that's perplexing. Like, how doesn't it work? Well, there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but you're being held hostage because you obviously don't want your offensive coordinator, but you're keeping him because your quarterback wants him.
Right. It's not an ideal scenario for your team.
No.
So no, building all-stars, building based away from what the general manager and the player personnel want to do is not the way to build a team. That's not how. If you have a regular business, do you not want the boss hiring? You want one of your employees dictating who they bring in? That doesn't sound like the right thing you'd want to do. Like, if anyone ever questions that, well, maybe think of your regular place where you work and do the equivalent for that and the hierarchy. Is that ever really a good idea? Probably not. And if it is a good idea, then whomever that lower level employee is that's making the decisions probably then should be the manager or the boss or something. Promote them. Aaron Rodgers has not proven that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some points he turns into a genius general manager. And I mean that in a legitimate way. I doubt it, though.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any other teams that attempted to do this and they had any sort of success. I mean, even when Favre went to the Vikings, he didn't really demand a whole lot, right?
No,
everything was in place.
I don't recall that becoming as much as that's ironic.
Right.
For a place that has kind of gained a reputation, and I still don't exactly know why, unless it's sheer proximity and being in the same division, for taking the leftovers from the Packers. Ironically, when Brett Favre, of all people, goes there, he didn't bring over all the Packers if he had the opportunity. Granted, it was a short period of time, and it's not like they were going to start making trades. It's a lot easier to do acquisition stuff when you're across conferences versus arch rival territory. You're right, though. It didn't happen.
I mean, maybe the only closest one was when the next year is when they brought Randy Moss in, and that still didn't work.
No, and plus there you're talking big start. No, so that wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
but Aaron Rodgers for him, it's a thing.
Yeah.
That's just the way that is. I don't know that many players are like that though. In the NFL, quarterback-wise, have we sensed that?
I guess maybe the other one would be Brady when he brought in, Gronk and AB, that sort of, and it worked a little bit there. but they were in a pretty good spot already when Brady went there. I mean, you had Evans and Godwin. You had a good group.
Well, that's the other part. Are you messing with the talent already there? Are you messing with the chemistry?
And I'll add this too. There's one element that maybe isn't getting enough touch with. So the two examples I threw out there with the Buccaneers and the Rams, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look at who the coaches were.
Yeah.
Sean McVay and Bruce Arians. I think if you're going to do that and you're going to accumulate all this talent, a lot of personalities come with a lot of talent, you need leadership. And right now, I think it's questionable at best when it comes to the Jets. I like Robert Saleh, but I mean, you got to look at, like, do you trust that coach with all those personalities and with all that talent, right?
He doesn't have the track record, at least not yet. And with
Right.
the track record we've seen thus far, short, as a head coach is not that good.
Mm-hmm.
And as a general coach is good, but as a head coach, not necessarily.
And the one, then if anybody's like, well, what about the Eagles? They had Andy Reid. You'd be right, Andy Reid. But I think Andy Reid's a different coach from the last few years than what he was towards the end of that Philly tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like it was a breakup that needed to happen for the better of both teams.
And it reset in Kansas City, and he's turned out to be, I mean, it took a little bit. There was still some Andy Reid shaky end of game management, but as time has gone on and something finally clicked.
Yep.
And it could happen with Robert Saleh too. I mean, and also McVay was a pretty young coach when everything worked out, but it did eventually. Arians probably had the best general track record, but it wasn't an outstanding one, but it was good enough.
And and I would say too, with those other teams, I don't think there was a sense of inmates running the asylum.
Correct.
There
was a better hierarchy, a better sense of team involved with that. But basically, all of this means that this is not an ideal scenario for any of this to happen with that particular team right now.
Right.
If he went to a more okay, I mean, this is a bad analogy because he was just there. If he went to a team like the Packers, it probably would work a lot better because of the way the organization. The coaching generally, I would take Matt LaFleur over Robert Saleh any day of the week, based on the track record, the way the team does not have the players running the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much better franchise than the Jets would be. So that would be in a more ideal scenario for a team like the Packers, ironically. If Rodgers wanted to bring in some of his guys, and it probably would there'd be some way to work out that the team might go, okay, maybe not this guy, but then again, maybe that's part of the reason Aaron Rodgers is gone, because he wanted all these guys and the Packers are saying no.
But you know what's going to happen though in like 10 years?
What?
We're going to have this same discussion about Jordan Love. Are they doing enough to bring talent to surround him like we did with Aaron? You know what's going to happen? We did it with Favre.
Yeah.
When we got mad that they didn't trade for Randy Moss. For the last few years, we were like, why aren't we surrounding Aaron with more talent? So 10 years, we're going to be reversing this discussion. It's going to happen.
Gosh, I hope not.
I hope not either. I mean, when are we going to learn our lesson here? But
maybe it won't. Maybe he's wired differently.
To kind of segue here too, with the whole Jordan Love contract that's supposed to be coming up here, or you'd hope it's going to be done soon and all that. The Jalen Brunson deal, man, where he left a lot of money on the table, right? Mm-hmm. He left a lot of money on the table to help, hopefully, and it's a risk. Let's be real. I know a lot of people want to build the statue for Jalen Brunson right now already. But it's a risk on his part because that's, one, not a guarantee that the Knicks are going to spend that money to bring in more talent. Two, if they do bring in that talent, doesn't mean you're automatically going to get a championship. So it's a risk that he's leaving a lot of money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see more players do that, though? Or do we need to see the Knicks win it all first?
I think more will do it anyway, but it's not every player.
Yeah.
So
like if you're Jordan Love, you're in line for your big contract, right? Your first big contract. Do you want all the cash right away, or do you want to try to win a Super Bowl right away? I would hate to be in that situation.
Right. But each player's wired differently. There are some that are going to take less money because they want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Some will take less money later in their career because they're going to, and I know this has become a pejorative, chasing a championship, chasing a ring. But I mean, that's if you really want to win, I mean, that's what you do. You have that choice. It depends on what Love values at a certain point, and we don't know what he's going to value after a certain amount of time in the league. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some more doing that. And also, given restrictions in a given league, when you have harder caps, that's where some players go, all right, if I demand more, I'm really going to find myself in a bad situation. I'm going to have to go to a team that doesn't have much of a chance. And yeah, I get paid, but no, that's where I wonder if you start to see a little bit more of that in the NBA. We've seen some of that over the years pre-second apron. There have been plenty of players that took less than the absolute maximum. But now with that de facto hard cap of the second apron, not an actual hard cap, but it operates that way. That's where I wonder if you start to see a few more players go, I could take a little less. I get to surround myself with all those guys, and we're the favorites to win it. Okay, I'll do that. By the way, I see Dan Orlovsky just said a little bit ago on Get Up, what was it? A done deal that Davante Adams is going to the Jets.
He said that yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. But it ain't. Why? Come on, Dan. You're better than that.
Yeah.
You're better than that, dude.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the salary cap, trying to figure that out yesterday. You know, me and salary caps. It could happen. You know, they could happen. But here's the part: is like, okay, you're gonna have to trade though, which is gonna have to be picks, and it's gonna have to be a boatload of picks, right? It's gonna have to be some multiple first rounders, probably. Well, Green Bay got a first and a second, so maybe use that as a base. I think you're at least gonna have to include a first round pick in there. So
I don't like it.
I don't see
in
it
a
happening.
general football sense. I don't like it.
Here's the thing though. Are we talking about this at all if Aaron Rodgers didn't make a stupid comment at a golf tournament last weekend?
It would come up at some point eventually because the Adams Raiders thing has not worked out as well as anticipated.
And I'll say I haven't seen it, but I saw the clips, the receiver Netflix thing when there's a clip of Devontae saying, "I got to get out of here. I'm getting killed." You know, everybody's like, "Oh, he wants out." You know,
maybe. Between that and like we've been talking about for the past few minutes, Rodgers wants his guys. Well, it's been presumed that one of his main guys, it's presumed, but then there have been questions if it's so, that it's Davante Adams would be an ideal guy. That this would come around at some point, but it's now a little hotter right now. And yes, of course, it's also a little bit of pre-training camp and trying to fill with hot take NFL discussion when there's no actual news right now. But okay, I think it would have come eventually.
Yeah.
And okay,
so it was like the David Bakhtiari thing from last year, right? A little bit. So.
Yes. So, will Davante Adams be a New York Football Jet this season?
No.
You're calling it.
I'm calling it. Will not happen.
Okay.
No. Nada.
I'm more 50-50.
Has anybody even asked Davante if he wants to?
I don't know. I'm sure someone will.
I mean, I thought the whole thing was, part of it was that, you know, I know he said he would have re-signed with Green Bay if they would have offered a big deal right away. But wasn't part of it too, he wanted to go back to Cali? Yeah. Because his parents or his dad or his mom never got to see him play and, you know, just wanted to be closer to family. Okay, now you're moving further away than what you were in Green Bay.
Right. Veterans report for Raiders training camp on Tuesday.
Okay.
So look somewhere around then, Tuesday, Wednesday, for a possible question asked of one Davante Adams.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. So way to, you know, that's exactly what you want to be talking about before training camp opens up.
Yeah. Hey, you want to leave?
Yeah. Jeez. Hey, tip of the cap really quick before we go to break. How about Quinn Miners, huh? The belly, UW Whitewater product. 4-year, $80 million deal he got yesterday from the Denver Broncos.
Nice.
Representing UW Whitewater, baby.
Nice.
$45 million in guarantees. See, kids, you can play Division III and make it to the pros and get a huge contract. Right there. Nice. Tip of the cap.
I mean, I don't want to do the whole, is it the biggest contract ever? Because, I mean, in actual dollars, yes. And even if you do inflation over time compared to other, yes, it's the biggest. I wonder though, is it
for D3 product
relative to the sport? Maybe that's the best way to do it. Is that the biggest contract relative to that sport. And that's going to be a real, because I'm thinking like, how do you compare Terry Porter's deals with the NBA, stuff like that? But it's got to be one of the top ones for a D3, or if you want to go back like NAIA era WIAC player.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest anyway. And I'm probably blanking on WIAC players in the NFL, NBA, etc. But it's got to be one of the bigger ones.
Not Bill Schrader. He didn't get that. So
no.
He didn't get that one. So yeah, I think it has to be. I think it's got to be up there. I mean, yeah, $20 million per year. So nice.
By the way, and one last comment, because Awful Announcing is basically sending out everything from the Jets Devontae Adams talk as we're talking right now. That's happening at the same time. The last thing is from Louis Riddick, where he says, "Greeny, I'm tired of your team, to be honest with you."
Yeah. I can't wait till they miss the playoffs again this year. So, yeah.
That show.
I know. All right, we got to take a quick break, and then we'll finish up the finish up the second hour here in just a couple minutes.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Are warmer temperatures this summer forcing you to move to the lower level of your home or even your basement? Is it kind of a dull space that you've been thinking about remodeling so you could take advantage of that space more? Hey, that's a great idea. Now, the first step in remodeling a space is the floors. What style should you go with? What works best in your type of basement? Great questions. And you know who can help you with those? Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. If you're getting the itch to remodel that basement into a functioning living space, you want to make sure you have the right floor that not only looks great, but functions the best, and all at the best price. Well, Carpet City Flooring Center can do all that for you. The awesome team at Carpet City Flooring Center will work with you to not only find the type of floor that would work the best in your space and look the best, they'll work with you to find what fits right in your budget. So what are you waiting for? Let's get to remodeling. Head on over to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire today to get started. Carpet City Flooring Center is located at 3109 East Hamilton Avenue in Eau Claire. Have you been to VFW Post 305 lately? Well, let me tell you, they've got some new and exciting things happening there. First, they've got new kitchen hours every day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., except Fridays, which are 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Plus, Saturday and Sunday, breakfast is served until noon. Wednesday nights and Saturdays, they have live music. Plus, their patio has new outdoor tables and chairs to go along with that beautiful view. So get on down to VFW Post 305, located at 1300 Star Avenue in Eau Claire.
Do you want to create a marketing campaign that's as refreshing as a perfectly mixed drink, but without the hangover? Then you need us, Midwest Family Eau Claire Marketing.
We're your marketing bartenders that create campaigns that are tailored to your specific needs.
And our talent will bring your brand to life in living rooms, back seats, backyard barbecues, and everywhere else you can imagine.
So if you're ready to raise your glass to success, contact us at MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
We're the perfect blended cocktail of creativity, experience, and a results-driven track record.
That's MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Rooting for the Brew Crew, because we're from Milwaukee too. Tastes like Miller time. Brewers fans, the ballpark never tasted so good. Now that Vienna beef hot dogs are available, don't miss out on the quality culinary home run of the season, which can be cooked to your liking for that classic ballpark taste. Grab a pack of Vienna beef hot dogs at your favorite local grocer today. Milwaukee Brewers baseball and Miller Lite.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. I'm talking cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. They've helped so many people here and tens of thousands more around the country. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know that steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call for a free consultation now. 715-443-4440. That's 715-443-4440.
Some call his show life-altering. Your personal takeaway may differ somewhat. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Fourth annual Casper Classic is actually 2 weeks from this Friday, believe it or not. Time is fast approaching. We still got just a couple of spots opened up for our 7:30 tee time out there, 10 o'clock and 1:30, all sold out right now. So if you want to get out maybe before work or such, we got a couple open over there. But big thanks to Princeton Valley Golf Course again for hosting us for the third straight year for our golf outing over there. Shout out to Hy-Vee, our Champions Meal sponsor. Our beverage sponsor is Park Ridge Distributing. We've got Residence Branding Company, the Title Belt sponsors, Gemco Surfaces, Putty Green sponsors. Also, Muldoon's Menswear, our Green Jacket sponsors, Carpet City Flooring Center, AJM Automotive Service, The Elbow Room, Dodge, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Kelsey Nikolai, Hannah Sellner Agency, American Family Insurance, Shepke Chiropractic, Shoe Doctor, Service Master Chippewa Valley, Myron Construction, VFW Post 305. So we are looking for more prize donations too. If anybody wants to help out and help out Backyard Dreams, looking for some prizes and such. If you're able to, So
Also, you can go buy brats. That helps out.
That helps out too.
I did that a couple weeks ago. Stop by Mike's.
What flavors did you get?
I did the Man Cave Light Beer brats.
Nice.
Because I'm like, well, hey, look, we talk about it enough. Might as well actually try it. And there's the big Backyard Dreams sticker right on there in the frozen case. So very, very good. I've never had a Mike's Star Market brat before. I wanted to try it. Figure I'd like it. Like I don't think I've ever had a bad brat.
It is National Hot Dog Day today, by the way.
It is?
That's what Morgan told me this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we know what's for dinner at the Luke Anthony house tonight.
I might have to do. Hey, this is a gorgeous day to be outside.
It is.
Oh, hey, I might have an idea. We'll have to see if that comes to fruition. The daughter may make different plans on that, but we'll see. But regardless, yes, that's a good choice. Go buy meat with that if you can't do the golf thing, and if you can, we'll do the golf thing.
Mm-hmm. Well said, man.
Either
well
works.
Said.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Coming up next hour, we're going to do a little bit of business of sports. So we'll hit that up. We also got another matchup coming up here for our bracket challenge going on here. So for the Sweet 16 players who have already advanced to Sweet 16, Chuck Cecil, Lynn Dickey, Terry Porter, who you mentioned a little bit earlier, Al Toon, Ben Sheets, and Giovanni Gallardo. And it looks like right now John Stocco is going to move on. He is defeating Luke Swan. So we're going to announce another matchup coming up next hour in our Bucks/Open region over there. So make sure you got to vote on Facebook and Twitter for that. So really quick, in the last minute and a half here, Lucas, what's with everybody in an uproar about soccer going on right now in these last week? Give us a quick 1 minute soccer rundown.
For everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
Okay, for starters, rushing stadiums is a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Start with that. England can't win the Euros. That's a big deal over there. The European Championship happens every 2 years or every 4 years, but when it's not the World Cup, Spain always wins, England can't. So all the English fans. And my favorite European team outside of Norway is always going to be England because I'm kind of a pseudo Anglophile. So, but I'm not like, it's not like it didn't ruin my summer. Like, it sucks, but all right, fine. Spain won again. Team USA
stinks.
Yeah. Good luck again. I hope something works out. I keep referencing the pod, so now this turns into the new drink of the show. Scott Van Pelt, he rips on Soccer Fan for like, cool, you turned out another coach. The next one will be great, right? Because it's always the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's deeper than that. So there's a lot of unhappy people for a lot of different reasons.
Did I hear like now there's people saying, hey, maybe they should hire the England coach who just got fired?
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
I will say Aston Villa's pretty happy, though, with all their players doing really well. So thankfully, my favorite team is in a good spot right now. It's not a lot of soccer fans that seem happy this July.
All right. 2 in. We got one more to go. We'll be back with a little business of sports coming up after these news updates.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's your news done differently with Morgan McCarthy.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today. Day 3, Make America Strong Once Again. That's the theme of the RNC as it continues in Milwaukee. Former President Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, will headline today's speakers. And this as former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley endorses Donald Trump. This was during a speech yesterday. Haley saying Trump invited her to speak, and that shows unity.
I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
Trump is expected to take the stage tomorrow evening when he officially accepts the GOP nomination for the 2024 race for the White House. In headlines that continue in our state, away from Milwaukee, but in attention to Mother Nature, Monday night storms dropped at least one tornado in the southern part of Wisconsin. The National Weather Service confirming an EF1 tornado touched down in Grant County. The sheriff's office there saying the twister tore the roof off of a Village Bar supper club. No one was hurt, even though there were about 20 customers and people working in there at the time. There's no word yet as to just how strong the winds were from that tornado. Here in our area, we now know the name of the Chippewa County prisoner who died after being rushed to the hospital. As Chippewa County Sheriff Travis Hake says, Shauna Dahmer was taken to the hospital where she later died. She had been brought to the county jail early in July, but was rushed to the hospital a couple of days later, placed on life support after that, and the coroner saying she passed away over the weekend, and the investigation continued. Well, if you walked through the gate and came home with a goldfish, you were actually part of a smaller crowd at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair this year, as the numbers are in fair managers say about 110,000 people walked through the gates. Manager Rusty Vogt said that's about 10% less than last year. Says that heat and the economy just generally work together for a smaller crowd, but of course that's still pretty good numbers. And now they continue the hustle to plan next year's Northern Wisconsin State Fair. That's what happens here on solid ground, but if we put our eyes to the sky, there's a move for SpaceX, and it's going from West Coast to the Lone Star State.
The billionaire announcing plans to move the headquarters of SpaceX from the Los Angeles suburb of Hawthorne to his South Texas spaceport. Musk is also moving his social media company X from San Francisco to Austin. He used the platform to lash out at a new California law which prohibits schools from telling parents if their kids start using different pronouns in class. He claimed that he warned California's Governor Gavin Newsom about the backlash against the first-in-the-nation law, saying that businesses and families would leave the Golden State as a way to, quote, protect their children. I'm Michael Board.
That's actually where the Man Cave podcast is the most popular. It's weird, but there's a huge fan base.
From San Francisco to Austin.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Our Wednesday is starting off with dry and pleasant weather, as we do have high pressure moving down from the northwest. That is going to continue today. Mostly sunny skies, a breezy wind from the north and northwest. Low humidity or high this afternoon in the mid-70s. For tonight, mainly clear. Lows bottom off at around 50, while plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Highs in the upper 70s. We're around 80 with more sunshine Friday. On 13 First Alert, meteorologist Derek Dahlman.
Service Master of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
From the hardwood and the diamond to the gridiron and the course, Dan's got you covered with his trademark blend of sports passion and knowledge. He has the sports info you want and the sports therapy you need. So get your game face on, people.
Let's go get some bell, huh? Put up or shut up, sir. We gotta get it started from the jump. Play big. Let's go. That's what legends made, man. Showtime. Welcome to the big leagues. Let's go.
Because it's the Dan Kasper Show.
Final hour on this Wednesday morning, kicking off right now. Hopefully, you're all off to a fantastic start on this Wednesday morning. Sounds like it's going to be a picture perfect day. Maybe hit out the golf course and all that good stuff, or do a little grill out like maybe Luke is going to be doing. Maybe, possibly. So, but a big thanks for making us a part of your starts on this Making the Turn Wednesday. We'll get back to some more baseball talk and such. The All-Star game in the books yesterday. We are looking for just a little fun topic there. Thanks to Luke for this question he threw out there. What's the best quote from the movie Major League? Got a few more to get to here. This is from Philly fan Dave. Don't give me that Olay BS. Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill. He's 0 for the century against this guy, but he has had several foul tips. So a lot of good ones. Keep those coming. Text it or Facebook it. So really quick, John said or asked, do you think Aaron Rodgers is turning into the LeBron James of the NFL as player, coach, and GM? I think he already has done that.
He is.
So
he is.
I mean, was it last year when they were on Hard Knocks and there was that clip where he was just, I mean, we've seen him criticize play calls for a while now too, and change and all that stuff too. So yeah. Oh yeah. I would agree with that. 100%.
He is.
Has there, let me, not to get on Aaron Rodgers talk here, but
again,
really quick, can you name another quarterback or player in the NFL that has been similar to this? You know what I mean? Like
Brady-ish.
But Brady, even with the Patriots, how much say did he have in personnel?
That we're not entirely.
Because I feel like he probably didn't have any.
I mean, he probably had more when he left.
Exactly, yeah. But to this level, I mean, it's like at least Brady won, though. You know what I mean? Like he won, and Aaron hasn't won, in a long time.
No.
And for Brady, he hasn't said cryptic stuff that would, it's just, I can't think of another.
No, the combination of everything. Like I'm thinking, did Peyton Manning?
No,
he never really did. I can't really think of other players before that would have been able to do that. There was less player movement pre-93. So you can pretty much eliminate any of the greats before that. Until you go back to the early days of the NFL when it was more of a, hey, everyone can do whatever they kind of want.
Yeah.
Because of the loose nature of the franchises. So I don't know. I think this is probably the paramount example.
Really trying to pull his weight around, isn't he?
He is.
Big time.
And I guess he can. And he is a Super Bowl champion, a future Hall of Famer, one of the best players we've ever seen in his position. He's got a lot to back it up.
But the thing is like, okay, yes, he is a Super Bowl champion, but that was almost 15 years ago already.
I was
15 years ago.
I was listening. On that note, on the Press Box pod recently, they were talking about the NFL Broadcaster Boot Camp, which happened recently. And Brian Curtis was talking about attending that and talking to certain players about how they want to be addressed if they won the Super Bowl. Like, would you, and I can't remember which particular player he referenced. It's a name you would know, all of us would know, but I'm blanking on who it was. But like that player, would you want to be referred to as Super Bowl champion so-and-so in the broadcast? And he's like, yeah, like that's something that I did. I won the Super Bowl, which makes you wonder, okay, I mean, we do the Hall of Famer when we introduce.
Oh yeah. Pro Football Hall of Famer, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
And side note to the side note, it was kind of cool last night at the Express game.
Yeah.
Hearing Hall of Famer Pete Knutson by the PA announcer last night because he was, what was it? It was one of the one of the state like broadcaster halls of fame or something like that. But see that's a cool that's neat when you're in the hall. I mean, that's based on your individual accomplishment. Super Bowl champion, I mean, you could say Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champion, Jim McMahon. Technically true, but you can really stretch that with a lot of players. How far do you want to go with that label? So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. This isn't the last guy on the team who was cut after week 2. But how far do you want to get back to what you were saying? How far do you want to stretch that Super Bowl champion thing now, 14 years later, when towards the end of his career? And you're like, yeah, but I have that. Yeah, you did. Well,
it's funny you say, because DP just announced their guest on their show, and Hall of Famer John Smoltz. There you go.
Right. The Hall of actually isn't Dan Patrick the one that really got that going?
I think so. Now that you say that,
as I picture saying the Hall of Famer so and so, and I have Dan Patrick's voice. I know you just said that, so that's kind of altering it. I think that's where it started.
I think you're right. I think you're right. So.
Yeah. But that's a very influential show, and it makes sense. Again, if you made a Hall of Fame, then that applies.
Yep.
But not necessarily yet. Well, again, you could say future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, because he's getting in.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I want to do a couple things for the business of sports this morning. Let's first off, it's finally official. I know it was last week and such, but we got the new NBA deal for TV rights, right? And it's monstrous. And I saw that there was even some talk like, ooh, could it actually be now that the NFL wants to redo theirs? Because, you got to be like just dominating, right? In terms of money. And if you see the NBA is getting an 11-year agreement that'll be worth about $76 billion, NFL's like, hey, hold our beer here for a second.
Is the NFL like the other quarterback that's like, all right, I'm going to hold out now because I need to have the bigger deal?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
But the NBA Board of Governors approved the league's next media rights deal with Disney, NBC, and Amazon Prime Video at its meeting on Tuesday, moving the league one step closer to finalizing that 11-year agreement that'll be worth about $76 billion, according to Tim Reynolds from the AP. Now comes the next and possibly final step, seeing if Warner Brothers Discovery will match one of the deals in an effort to extend a relationship with the NBA that dates back to the late 1980s. Warner Brothers Discovery has 5 days to match, that clock starting to run when it receives the contracts from the league. So will they match is now, I guess, the biggest question, right? That's a lot of moolah, dude.
Well, David Zaslav, not the most popular executive around lately. All right, well, you really want to lose it? Really? This is your choice. Yeah, I know NBA ratings have not been great of late, but would you want to be in on this? I see also now what the WNBA would get Sports Media Watch, I think was saying, or is it Business Journal? I can't remember which one. Was saying that they would go from 60 to 200 million a year and then be branched out among these networks. So there's extra content too. You want more people watching TNT or not?
Well, and how much does Sir Charles already saying this is going to be his final year? Does that factor into whether they want to fork over that money if Charles Barkley's not going to be back?
To a degree, because
I mean, a lot of us, I watch a lot of it just to watch those guys.
At some point, Inside the NBA is not going to be the same show because the people will be off the show.
Right. Yep.
It's life. I mean, unless we start to wonder, okay, you can say AI did it. Stop. It's going to end at some point.
Oh God, don't say AI. Oh,
I was meaning like artificial intelligence, not.
Oh no, that's what I meant. Yeah,
I
don't want a Charles Barkley AI. I don't want that.
Because given that
Allen Iverson, yeah.
Well, because there's been a little bit of Allen Iverson talk of late with like the Maxi and the jerseys from that era, and what is that going to come back? Which, side note, not this year, would be probably next year, but I'm sure it's coming back as a throwback. Right. Anyway, you're not going to see artificial intelligence versions of that. It wouldn't be the same. It's going to end. The question is when, and do you want to spend a lot of money? If you're Warner Brothers, Warner Discovery, if you think that the the most beloved part of your programming is going to end potentially mid-deal, and you think the value of broadcasting games may actually be going down. I don't know that I would agree with that, but if that's their take, it actually is. This is a counter. The smart move to not do the NBA deal. I know the WNBA is going up. It's not to the level of the NBA, and may never be. But if you think the NBA is going down in overall value, then maybe you skip on that.
Right.
So maybe it is the right move. And yes, we're going to go through all the weeping and gnashing of teeth at the end of Inside the NBA. But again, it's coming with the ages involved. It's coming fairly soon.
Yeah, no doubt about
you
it.
got a mercurial.
All good things come to an end.
They pretty much have to.
Father time, no,
et cetera. Right. Now, yeah, the other part of this is Charles Barkley's kind of mercurial. How many times he said he's going to retire?
Yeah.
Like when he said he was going to retire a few weeks ago, and it wasn't that big of news, that was kind of a tell right there. Like, oh, cool. Yeah, you're done. Right. All right. We'll see you next year.
Yep.
So
he won't be like going off in the sunset or anything. He's going to be doing something.
Right.
He'll be doing something. Just I kind of wonder now, does he regret not doing the live?
He probably does regret that. Okay.
Was that last year? I think that was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, a year ago. All that talk, the whole live thing's really quieted down too.
Yeah.
So where are you at right now? Because it seems to be probably an either or, NBC or TNT. And I know,
come on now.
and I know it's all like Roundbow Rock. Yes. Well, beyond that, are we sure NBC is going to do a good job? Like I like NBC's approach to covering stuff.
I think. Oh no, yeah, I would agree with that. I also feel like I'm setting myself up for disappointment because if I tune into the first Bucks game on NBC, whenever that's going to happen, I'm going to be expecting those 90s intros with, the pictures of Jordan and Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley, Penny Hardaway, Shaq, Malone, and, Bob Costas talk. I'm going to be expecting that, and it's not going to be that, and I'll be disappointed.
No.
I'll be a little sad. I'll be like, but I miss it.
Part of it's also the intros and all of that.
Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like where they're doing the drawing of the peacock. Yeah. I want the Bob Costas essay at the beginning.
Right.
I never liked his football essays, but I like the basketball ones.
It's not the same. But if it's not all of that, then you're like, oh, cool. So we get the music and ... And again, not to knock NBC, given, like I said, they generally do a good job. But what if it turns into like Drew Brees calling the playoffs kind of situation? Like, oh boy. And we're talking about broadcasting disasters. Like, they used to have TNT broadcasting these games. That's a worst case scenario. I don't think it's going to be that bad. But that's the cautionary tale. We're all excited about a theme. Great theme. Hall of Fame theme. Hall of Fame again. What the theme? It's really NBC. We don't. Come on, stop it. Stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I'm talking. And then all those pictures coming up.
Remember, it's going to be re-recorded too. So let's hope it's pretty close. And again, we don't get marshmallow like, yeah, here we go. Remix. Stop.
Oh, memories. Nostalgia. Yeah. Hey, speaking of nostalgia, the second part of our business of sports here. I know you weren't one of them. I wasn't one of them. I believe maybe our buddy Brandon Berg might have been one of them because he has been looking forward to this day for a long time the other day. NCAA 25, college football 25.
I knew that's where you're going with this.
College football 25.
That is huge.
I was reading some numbers here. So apparently this was from Outkick. But early access for the game cost around $100. That means just using just the people who were online, EA Sports made more than $71,300,000 the first day of the game's release, but that number is likely to be much higher because it doesn't include all the people not online. So the real number could be north of $100 million the first day. The first day. The game comes out for everyone else on Friday. I think that's when Brandon's actually getting it. So a lot of money for a video game right now. I don't know what records are or anything like that, but I got to imagine this is just blowing everything out of the water.
That was a big talk on the latest SP pod, was towards the beginning, was on that game. Not breaking it down, it was more like playing video games and such. Mind you, those are two like 40, 50 somethings that are getting all into that. I was just looking at Ted Schwartzel's feed, one of the Twins people I've commented on, and like all of his recent posts, granted he was doing all sorts of all-star game stuff recently, but most of his recent posts are Gopher football screenshots from the game. I'm like, what? But yes, it is true. Well, hey, that game is big enough that, remember, Oregon State had to begrudgingly move up their uniform unveil because Boise State revealed their new uniforms via the game. That's I think the first time I've ever, and maybe it's happened with some other team or school, but that's the first time I think a school went, here's our new uniforms. Watch the clips. And then there's a game against Oregon State, and Oregon State's like, wait, we don't. All right, here are our new uniforms too.
If this doesn't tell you anything here too, there is a story in the Wisconsin State Journal, Masson.com. 3 initial takeaways from playing as Wisconsin in EA Sports College Football 25. I'm like,
3 takeaways? What are we doing?
3 initial takeaways.
Yes, it went all Taylor Twellman here. What?
That's So I have not played it. I don't plan on playing it. I know a lot of people do. I'm genuinely curious with all the hype. If anybody has it lived up to the hype from people playing it? I don't think Brandon's gotten it yet. Here's the thing though too. Brandon's like buying a new system because it only comes out on PlayStation 5, I think they said. Like I don't know too much about this stuff, but he's got to buy a new one, then he's gonna get the game. So I mean, hey, more power. I mean, shout out to all of you. Like that's there's so much money coming through for this video game. It's mind-boggling. But again, look how long it's been gone. Right?
That's the thing.
People probably around my age now the last time a new game came out, I was out of college, I think. Yeah, I was just a few years out of college. But I mean, it's around that time frame, so you're kind of living in the nostalgia world.
Yeah.
A bit.
But now in this NIL era, it's
now you can actually like have the players and you know who they are because they are their names instead of like, oh, I know who you're referring to. Like I remember in college, I was playing a college basketball game and I'd be like Marquette. You knew who Travis Diener was. You knew who Dwayne Wade was, even though they couldn't use the names. But they had the same numbers. And, they looked like the guy, too.
Huh.
Weird how that worked out.
That's incredible.
So.
Well, yeah. So it's the college. It is what it is. And it's wildly popular because football is wildly popular. And we haven't had this for the colleges yet. So I get it. I understand why it is. I'm not a gamer, but I get it.
Yeah.
Sure. That's fine.
I got one more I just thought of for business and sports.
Yes.
And it was a topic I had brought up, I think it was on Monday. And it's something I think kind of forget about when it comes to the Major League Baseball draft. What are your thoughts on how teams, like the Brewers, it looks like they did this too. And Jeff Passan had a great article leading up to it to kind of explain it too. How teams now are drafting players where maybe they're drafting them higher than what they thought they would be because they may be able to pay them cheaper, but then use that extra pool money for picks coming in the second or third round to try to offer them more money so they sign those contracts instead of going to college or staying in college.
Interesting.
Because, for example, the Brewers, with their first overall, or I shouldn't say first overall pick, their 17th overall pick, but first pick in the draft. There was a lot of people like, oh, okay, he was ranked like in the 50s. The Athletic had him even in the 70s. Braylon Payne. So it was kind of reached, but there's thoughts like, oh, those 2 pitchers though they got in the second round, they're going to use that extra money to try to convince them to sign and not go to college.
Yeah.
Do you like that's part of the draft?
Gosh. I mean, because then there's much higher risk involved if you're going to take reaches like that. I guess it depends on how many pan out, but if you're looking at the history of reaches, usually those don't work out.
Because the example Passon used, that the Astros were kind of the first team to do this, was 2012 when they passed on a guy named Byron Buxton. But then they got a guy named Carlos Correa.
Ironically.
Yeah, right. And they used that extra money to sign, I think it was a second-round pick, Lance McCullers.
That worked out. They got a championship.
Yep.
It's insert asterisk, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it. No, it worked.
The part of me, too, is wondering, does this work for a team maybe like, let's say the Brewers, a smaller market team, so they can convince some of their guys to sign with them? Is there this notion like, oh, I don't want to go play for the Brewers? Because let's face it, some draft picks have a little bit more say in baseball, right? They can decide whether they want to go or not. So does this help out teams maybe like the Brewers be like, if they have a little strategy involved in this, okay, we're going to offer these guys more money because, yes, we know we're not the Dodgers, we're not the Yankees or whatever, but we're going to offer them a little bit more money to get them in our system. Does it help out smaller teams like that?
I think so. You could find any advantage that you can get, but if there's some way that's basically the thing. You need to find any advantage where you can get a financial advantage, basically. It as much of a risky proposition as drafting way higher can be. It's so far out, and there's so much baseball talent that doesn't pan out. But we see it on the other. This is an ongoing thing we talk about with all the drafts. A lot of those players aren't going to turn into much of anything. The same is going to apply to Major League Baseball. So I guess if you can, any way you can kind of hack the system, go for it. Even if it's a little riskier. Okay, I'll put it this way: as long as we're not going to have a salary cap or anything close to that in Major League Baseball, you might as well give those opportunities to teams like the Brewers. And if they can take advantage of that, and if they can make the smart move and do smart acquisition, even risky, yes, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Because what else? Otherwise, we end up with more actual super teams, not one player real super teams.
Yeah, and I do like the fact too, in case anybody's wondering, well, teams can just hoard money. They can't you didn't spend $2 million, they don't get to keep it. It goes bye-bye. So you don't have those teams like, oh, they're just going to hoard money or anything like that.
Yeah.
No. They just lose it.
Right. So yeah, I'm good with it.
It definitely it involves a little bit more, our favorite word, strategery to this. Yeah, I think it just depends on who's drafting first and who's doing the drafting, really. You know what I mean? Like, do the Yankees, let's say, or the Dodgers have to maybe worry about stuff like that? I don't think so. I don't think they have to.
No.
So I think it's for teams like the Brewers or something like that.
It is, yeah. I mean, if you're a bigger team, you've got the resources, you've got the brand. There's not much of a draw. Of course, you're also not going to usually have the highest draft pick.
And the other part in this too is I just thought of, okay, say you have the number one pick, and you got this prospect who's probably going to be the number one pick, but he doesn't want to play for you, and he's been vocal about that, saying, I ain't going there. I'm not going to play for you. Well, how often do we see baseball teams wanting to move up for that first pick? You know what I mean? It's not like the NFL draft or the NBA draft.
Right.
So does this allow teams to okay, so we know this guy isn't going to sign with us, so instead of wasting the pick, I guess we got to go with the second best option, but maybe the counter to that is hey, we saved a little bit of money there too.
Yeah. Because which is the sport where you can't trade draft picks? Was that Major League Baseball? I'm trying to remember which one.
Well, the Brewers got the part of the Corbin Burns trade. They got a pick,
right? But within the draft.
Oh yeah, within the draft. I think that is baseball.
Right. So there are limitations. Whereas with the NFL, you get all the and of course second round picks in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another team just traded a 2030 pick actually right now. So
It just happened.
No.
These things happen like every 45 minutes, and just another one goes out. Who knows? Yeah, if you have to, and I mean, I'm having shades of 2001. What was that?
Oh, 2000. Yeah.
Joe Mauer. Appropriate. What with the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up this weekend. Right. Because there was Mark Pryor or Joe Mauer. And I think the thought was Pryor was generally thought to be the better prospect. But I guess what Pryor's dad said, he didn't want him to go to Minnesota. That kind of forced the Twins to make a bit more of a move to take the hometown guy, which turned out to be the right move ultimately.
Right.
Pryor's career only lasted a handful of seasons, and then it flamed out. And well, we see Joe Mauer, soon to be Hall of Famer. So that can happen there, and it can kind of force the situation a little bit more. So yeah, take advantage of what you can, given the circumstances. If you can save money in certain other areas that way, do that.
The other part I was thinking of too, what if you have a guy like a Kyler Murray who doesn't know if he's going to play baseball or football yet, and you protect yourself that way for your team, like the Oakland A's?
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, like, okay, maybe we avoid drafting him just to make sure the guy who wants to play baseball for us.
Right. I mean right, because otherwise you waste your pick, and you definitely don't want to do that. Gosh, and yeah, I like passing story notes. This isn't always going to be number one. This is going to be further down, like the Brewers. Because what was Brewers draft pick was again? Number
17.
Yeah. That's further down. But a team like Milwaukee, one of the smallest markets, is going to probably have to do that with pick number 17.
Yep.
And it may work. We may hear about him 5, 6, 7 years from now. We're going to have to probably store his name in the back unless you're a diehard baseball fan and follows how all the prospects are doing. But it's probably the right move.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little weird, and it's risky, but that's kind of the way you have to play the game. If the league won't change its overall structure, that's how you have to do it. Simple as that.
All right, let's take a quick break. That's your business of sports. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Talk a little hoops too. Bucks made I think a really good signing yesterday.
180! The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Who doesn't love summer in Wisconsin? Is it your dream to have a place to go to and just sit by the lake on a summer eve with a campfire going? Hey, don't make it a dream anymore. Live it. And you can do that with the help from Woods and Water Realty. Woods and Water Realty is your go-to real estate store to find that new home or your new getaway destination. Just visit woodsandwater.com to find your very own dream destination. Stop imagining that perfect Wisconsin summer eve. Live it. Visit woodsandwater.com today.
How many times a day do you compare yourself to others or wish your life looked like someone else's? We all do it sometimes because it's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But you know what they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. And in reality, nobody has it all together. Online therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, like that career goal you set your sights on, or that relationship you want to grow, or that daily habit you want to get into. Because your best life is always better than the idea of someone else's. BetterHelp makes therapy more accessible and less overwhelming with affordable online sessions that you can do anytime, anywhere. That's why over 4 million people have used it for mental health support. So stop comparing and start living with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/rightchoice today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rightchoice.
Do you want to create a marketing campaign that's as refreshing as a perfectly mixed drink, but without the hangover? Then you need us, Midwest Family Eau Claire Marketing.
We're your marketing bartenders that create campaigns that are tailored to your specific needs.
And our talent will bring your brand to life in living rooms, back seats, backyard barbecues, and everywhere else you can imagine.
So if you're ready to raise your glass to success, contact us at MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
We're the perfect blended cocktail of creativity, experience, and a results-driven track record.
That's MidwestFamilyEauClaire.com.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Rooting for the Brew Crew, because we're from Milwaukee too. Tastes like Miller time. Complete your summer style with a Brewers Hawaiian shirt giveaway on July 27th, courtesy of UW Credit Union. The first 30,000 ticketed fans through the gates at the game versus the Marlins will get the Hawaiian shirt. Get tickets at brewers.com/giveaways. Milwaukee Brewers baseball and Miller Lite.
Summers in Wisconsin can get a little bit warm, but not only for us, for our vehicles as well. And did you know that the summer heat breaks down old oil, which can lead to a whole lot of issues with your vehicle's engine? Don't ruin your summer by ruining your vehicle. Stay up to date with your oil changes this summer with the help from ASAP Used Auto Parts in Eau Claire. ASAP Used Auto Parts is your go-to place for your automotive needs. Just schedule your appointment to get your oil changed at ASAP Used Auto Parts before all of your summer traveling this year. Give them a call at 715-514-4501.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. I'm talking cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing.
Eau Claire Express will be back at Carson Park tonight as they take on the Waterloo Bucks. Make sure it's going to be a good night at the ballpark too. So if you want to catch a game, head on over to Carson Park. Support the Express. We got, I think, only 11 more home games for the Express for the regular season coming up. So it's going by fast, man. Get on down to the park and go check out some games that they'll be on the road for the next couple games, visiting the Honkers of Rochester. So. Hey, the Bucks actually made a signing, Luke. Hey, you know what?
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
They signed someone?
They signed somebody that actually might play
sometime in the next 5 years, maybe?
Yeah,
possibly.
Gary Trent Jr., the former Raptor, also started off his career with the Blazers, where he was a teammate with Damian Lillard. This was a guy I wanted last year. I know he averaged 13.7 last year for the Raptors. Before that, though, he was like 17. He had an 18. I like this signing a lot. I like it a lot. I think they got their starting shooting guard, a guy who's familiar with Damian Lillard. I think they've improved their backcourt. I like it a lot. Championship, baby. Here we go. Calling it. Not really, but
yeah, a little bit of a there's other competition there.
But he was, I mean, Lakers apparently really wanted him, and he turned down some other contract offers. So I'm curious to see what the Bucks are paying him. But I really like it. I don't want to put a whole lot of, I don't want to sound, I don't want to get too excited, I guess, by it. But I like this pick. I like the signing. I think it's a very solid one.
See Paul Henning, who's been, we've had him on the show before. Likes the pick, and he's been plenty critical of a lot of the Bucks' moves.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks this is a good one. It's got the connection to Doc Rivers as well. So, I mean, all in all, I think it helps general chemistry in the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it helps general strategy on the team, general flow on the court. Like we were saying, at least they're not dealing with yet another super young player that maybe will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't quite understand that. But I presume there's a logic to it. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm good. I'm curious why specifically he chose not to sign with other teams and why he went with this one. I mean, maybe the answer might be very obvious what we're just saying, but why specifically he didn't want to go for those. And I'm sure I'll have some interview at some point, but why that's the case.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I'm happy about it. I'm
Minimum
very
deal,
happy.
like that's a good one.
Is it a minimum deal?
Let's see.
If that's a minimum deal, that is a huge.
Yeah, because again, I'm reading Paul Inning's Twitter feed. Trent, Wright, and Prince on minimum contracts is phenomenal value and depth for the Bucks to get.
Wow, if that's a minimum deal, that is a huge.
I think that's what he's saying. And he knows his basketball. He also notes Gary Trent Sr., former Buck.
Yep.
In a drafting sense, he was traded for Sean Respert.
Yeah.
So he does the bit of a Bucks history.
Okay, so this was from CBS Sports because he turned down. Yeah, he reportedly turned down a multi-year deal with the Raptors that would have paid him around $15 million annually, as he was seeking a raise on his $18.6 million salary from last year. So if he took the minimum and he turned down 15 a year,
yes, he did.
Holy crap!
From NBA Central, in the end, he opted to reunite with Damian Lillard and contend for a championship on a 1-year minimum, $2.6 million, rather than taking multi-year offers at the smaller mid-level, $5.2 million year one that were on the table, according to league sources.
I don't know if this is just bad business from him, if he got some bad intel, or he just really wanted to get out of Toronto. You got a guy who turned down $15 million annually, and he's getting the minimum now. That's a little bit more extreme than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 versus 2.6. So it took
but no,
half.
It's 15 compared to 5 than to 2.
Right, yeah, compared to So it took a lot less, but again, you got a better shot of it. Look, the Bucks are a championship contender still. We can say, we'll criticize them a lot, and there's a fair amount of criticism due to that franchise right now, based on how they've operated in the last couple of years. But they are still one of the championship contenders in the NBA. Way more so than the Raptors, probably than a lot of the other teams that were able to offer those contracts. So, as we were talking about earlier in the show, ring chasing, he's young in his career. This is not a 35-year-old move. But there is a lot to like, again, between the coach connection, the Dame connection, and having a better contender. Okay, and then he can vault that into a better contract, probably with another team next year.
Well, true, but he's also not going to be the number 1 scoring or the number 2 scoring option for this team. It's still Giannis and Dame. But, I mean, to turn down reportedly $15 million per year, because apparently he was looking for 25 is this one article I'm looking at, and you settle for 2-something. That's wow. I don't know if he got bad at that. I'm sorry. I don't care. Yes, championship and all that. That's a lot of cash.
It is.
That is a lot of cash.
But I mean, if he's part of an NBA champion, he's going to get paid in a year.
I don't think he's going to get paid $15 million.
Not at 15, but he'll get paid a lot more. It'll be in a better longer term situation.
Build the statue for Gary Trent Jr. if we're building one for Jalen Brunson right now. Holy crap! Basic math. That's $13 million difference.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't.
Go.
Jeez.
There you go.
All right. Well, we better win now for Gary. Win for Gary.
Go out there and win one for Gary Trent.
Win one for Gary. So
local kid too. He's from Apple Valley.
Okay. Nice.
I was looking at all the Duke players that ended up from that 2017-2018 team.
Mm-hmm.
You have Marvin Bagley Jr., Now a Piston. Or wait, no. Oh, now a Wizard. Sorry. I forgot which teams he's
Doesn't
still going
matter
with.
right now. It's
Not
between
really.
those two. So
Wendell Carter Jr. I mean, he's doing some stuff with the Magic.
Yeah.
Remember Trevon Duvall?
Yep.
Exactly. And Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen got a nice deal though too.
He did. So again, not all of those guys turned out to have wow careers, but you got some decent ones compared to some of those. You get almost nothing. Some decent players from that group, all the 5 Duke starters from that 2018 team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gary Trent's numbers throughout his career. I mean, yeah, he averaged 13.7 last year, but I mean, his career, like the year before, he averaged over 17. He's got an 18 per game, per game for a year. So, double-digit scorer. I mean, maybe. And let's face it. Let's remember too. He was on the Raptors last year. Okay, the Raptors weren't a very great team.
Yeah, they're floating around the play-in.
Yeah, 2021 or 2020 to 2021. 15 points per game. Then he went up to 16. Then he went up to 18. Then he was 17.4. Then last year dropped 13.7.
Yeah.
So
he can thrive in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
The spacing will be there, all of that. This I like the move. From grading it.
I love it now, considering the money involved.
I'd say it's an A. I mean, all of those factors considered, yeah.
Whoever did the recruiting, if it was Dame and Doc, go help out with the Badgers with some recruiting or something, because that was a job well done.
It was.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And again, I would not say this vaults them to the top spot, but they're probably in that general, what would I say, top. Okay.
Top 3, 4?
Celtics are 1. Then I think you can question, is it the
Knicks or Philly?
Knicks, Bucks, or Sixers? Who'd you have number 2 right now?
I might go Sixers. Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Nick Horn.
If they all stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, too. Yeah, that's... Well, I mean, you can say that with the Bucks, though, too, can't you?
You can say that about the Knicks, too.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, how many teams now can you actually not refer to if they stay healthy? It seems to be afflicting almost everybody at this point.
Yeah. Was that ever a thing in the 90s? If they can stay healthy.
Oh, because they played all the time, and that's how I'm getting a head start in Bosel tomorrow. If you take out injury factors, just talent. See, this is where you start to go, maybe the Bucks really should be higher considering the talent on the team. But I think I would go in a very short order. I would go Sixers, Bucks, Knicks. I need to see a little bit more from New York.
The thing that worries me about New York is, because I feel like it's going to happen, but when does the Tom Thibodeau wear off?
Yeah.
Because it happened
kind
in
of
Chicago.
due for it to happen this year.
Right? It happened in Chicago, it happened in Minnesota. I'm just waiting for it to wear off in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there that survey amongst players? Like, he was rated really low. It's kind of like the NFLPA, but basketball did one last year.
Yeah.
Where, like, the coach you don't want to play for, something like that.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Plus, as much as I think the Knicks have actually made some good moves of late, there's still something about that overall franchise that feels like something's going to put a ceiling on them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still waiting for Dolan to be gone.
Yeah.
And if so, then maybe they become a genuinely well-run franchise. Sixers still have a lot to prove, too. When was the last time, see if you remember this, maybe this stat's already come up, the Philadelphia 76ers made the Eastern Conference Finals?
The finals?
Eastern Conference Finals for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they have been one of the better teams of late, one of the more talked about teams of late. When was the last time they made the conference finals?
I am going to say 2000, 2001.
We remember it well here in Wisconsin. It was the infamous 01 finals.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
The last time before that?
Gosh.
1985.
I was going to say, was Barkley there?
At rookie season.
Yeah.
The end of the Dr. J. Moses Malone era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
the last time they were in the finals was the AI, Eric Snow, Matt Geiger, Aaron McKee. See, now I'm in my wheelhouse right now.
What? You are totally going to probably end up. Are you? Oh, no, you're not. I was going to say, are you going to buy like a Tyrese Maxey?
No.
AI throw?
No.
Because why? Because that would be.
I was actively rooting for the Lakers for that series too. So.
I think again, all of Wisconsin was.
I remember watching Game 1 and AI stepping over Ty Lue and all that.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, at least all of Wisconsin was caring about the Bucks.
Well, I would say all Wisconsin. I was not a Bucks fan then.
That's right. You were still in were you still in your latter Magic era?
I was, but I did not like Sam Cassell and I didn't like George Karl. So
okay,
they just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, I think I was rooting for the Bucks, obviously. I was not an Allen Iverson fan.
I understand he was a polarizing figure. That's for sure.
But I would not say I was a Bucks fan at that point because I was still young and still holding out hope that Darrell Armstrong could somehow lead my Magic to a championship.
Nope, did not happen.
No.
But see, that's the point. The Sixers and Knicks way overperform their talk, and I get it because Northeastern basketball. I understand media market. I get it, and the talent on the team. I understand, but gosh, those teams have gone a long time without really doing much in the actual playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Knicks' last appearance, I think, was '99 when they went to the NBA Finals in the strike year,
and they lost to the Spurs.
Yeah, that was that miracle run, quote unquote.
Yeah, they were the 8th seed.
Yep.
Was that they beat the Heat in the first round, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one with Larry Johnson and everything. Yeah.
Allen Houston hit the floater.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time for those two teams. They got what
though? You know what? You know what we're talking about though? Those games, NBA and NBC though too. Just saying.
Here we go. Nostalgia. You could get that maybe. Well, okay. I know the conference finals wouldn't be on NBC, but you could end up with the Sixers. What if you got Sixers Knicks this year and that would break the internet. Sixers Knicks. Sports media.
I need Heat Knicks for that to really do the throwback.
Okay, that's true.
That's what I would need. Heat Knicks,
especially if Butler's going off.
Yep,
Jimmy Butler's just going crazy. Because I mean, you
bring Gundy back if you're the Knicks, just to be on the sidelines.
I mean, in terms of the hottest hot takes, it's probably Sixers Knicks, but Heat Knicks would be fun.
Mm-hmm. I want it to be tense too. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And then I would throw in, I mean, maybe we get a little Pacers and Magic throwback in there too. Oh, yeah. There we go.
You basically just want to relive the
Antonio
90s.
Davis and Dale Davis and Rick Smits and Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller and Chris Mullin in the later part of his career. You throw in, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just bring Costas back to call a few more games.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Why not? Yep.
Madison Square Garden, Oregon, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. All right. We'll take a break. Relive the glory days.
Hey, remember the Bucks weren't that good in the 90s.
No, they weren't. I think the only times I actually watched Bucks games when they were on WGN playing Jordan and the Bulls.
That was it.
All right, let's do some picks and predicts, although we just got one pick coming up here. Picks and predicts brought to you by the good friends at the Elbow Room. Got Wednesday night trivia nights over there, too. So stop on over, show off your trivia skills in front of everybody, and well, enjoy some nice, cool beverages over at the Elbow Room, located right next to the Banbury Place in Eau Claire. The Open, who you got, Lucas? Who you rolling with?
It's one of the two. It's either going to be Oberg or some guy that's ranked like 26th or lower that has never finished in the top 10 in any major. And I'm leaving that open, but it's going to be a who the heck is this? It's one of the two. So Oberg, or is it Aberg? Because I looked at, he said as like in America you pronounce it Aberg, in Sweden it's Oberg.
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere right. So but I think I'm gonna go more with Oberg. He's so close so often of late. He's got to break through, and I think this is it.
I'm gonna go with a big time wild card in this thing. Rory McIlroy.
Really?
He's due to win one soon, so I'm just gonna keep pounding that table. So Rory's gonna do it.
I mean, he's got a what am I trying to say? And he's got a lot of betting favorites going towards him.
Yeah, I'm going Rory. Why not? Come on, man. You got to bounce back from the U.S. Open. And
Would we
win
call this
the
a
Open.
redemption?
No, he's got to do it at the U.S. Open for a redemption. He's got to do it there.
Okay, that's going to be a little tough to do.
Yep. Tiger make the cut?
Oh, gosh, this again.
You know it's going to come up every time.
Yes, I know. See, now I'm going to say, okay, yes, he's going to make the cut, and now he's not going to make it. So I have a terrible read on Tiger Woods in the cut, but I'll say yes, he does.
I'm going to say probably for the first time in my life. No, he doesn't.
Oh. Can we do the breaking news banner on that one?
I don't think he does.
Do.
I'm also doing this for a little, hopefully, reverse psychology.
You're going to do the Bill Simmons reverse jinx?
Yes. Yes. I mean,
it's come to this.
That stinks, but I don't think he's going to.
Again,
do they have the odds out? They got to have the odds out yet for that. Tiger Woods at here we go. To win, oh my gosh, 20,000. Top 5, 4,000. Top 10, 1,600. To make the cuts, plus 240. To miss the cuts, a minus 370. So
okay, so actually,
but here we are. Remember, is he gonna make the cut or not? That's gosh, I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
So you right now are doing the underdog move.
Yeah. Yep. Come on, Tiger, prove me wrong, man. Come on, buddy. Gotta prove me wrong here, dude. So
don't yet know what the Royal Troon weather is going to be for the week.
Yeah. So
forecast for the next few days. So let's see, 60s, maybe. Let's see. 67, 61, 62. Maybe some showers on Saturday. Dry Sunday and Friday.
Okay.
So maybe, but there will be rain and wind tomorrow.
Yeah, I just know. Hopefully I'm wrong. So
yeah.
If he does make it, he's gonna be like one of the first ones to tee off on Sunday. He's gonna be at the back end.
Yeah.
Of that leaderboard. So hate to say it, but that's the case. So all right. I got about 10 seconds left here. So baseball, well, our two teams won't get at it till Saturday. So when they go up against each other.
Okay.
Over there.
Nice wait.
Yeah. Other ones are in action on Friday.
Weather should be decent this weekend. Hey, we got that bus. It's sold out, but the bus is going Sunday.
Yep, it is sold out. But hopefully everybody that's going will have a lot of fun over there. So, All right, DP and Dan, are up next. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, just past 6. Talk to you then.